on the Game Network and streaming on the 107.5 The Game app.
Welcome into the early game. Preston Thorne, Jen Jensen, WIS's Nick Harvey. It's Wednesday. That means yesterday, for the first time all year, Shane Beamer had his Tuesday press conference. And today we're going to be spending a lot of time discussing, overanalyzing, breaking down, reading between the lines, hearing what's said, hearing what's not said, because guess what? We have no other way to find out information. We can't go to practice anymore. They outlawed the videos. Our insiders only get 10 minutes worth of stretch time. So guess what? We're going to make some stuff up because we can't even see it with our own eyes. And so we'll have a lot of conversation today about what Shane said, what Shane didn't say, and get a little bit more information about where the team is. They are on as of yesterday, they were at practice number 4. So they're starting to move towards the first full pads, the first scrimmage. Right? You know how practice goes. It's like you have your first practice, then you have your first full pads, then you have your first scrimmage. And each one of those things is a little bit more exciting until it's not.
It is, and it's especially like as a fan because, you know, I think you just said it. You don't get to go watch practices. It's not like the Spurrier area where people were pulling up lawn chairs and watching practices.
What a time.
But when you see like the videos from the social media team, it's the first time you hear those pads pop from your favorite team. There's no better feeling, man. It just builds and builds and builds until you get to that first kickoff.
And when they, shout out to Justin King and the social media team. They do a great job. I wish we would have had something like that available because everybody looks so fast and so strong and so violent. Everything moves quick, the quick cuts, the sounds. It's amazing the way they make practice look. But I say that to say, I would have ventured, if you went to practice, you might even be more impressed because we've talked about this before. The pace, the frantic nature, the organized chaos of a college practice is something that's very difficult to comprehend if you've never seen one. Yeah,
100%. I mean, and that's, like I remember being in high school, you go to the college camps during the summers and stuff like that, and they don't run those like a practice, but it's very, very similar. Mm-hmm. They kind of set a practice script exactly or a camp script similarly to how they would do a practice script. And so you're in one individual station, you're working with a certain coach, all of a sudden you hear an air horn blow and you're trying to figure out where you're running to because you don't know, and it's chaos. It's horrifying also. If you haven't figured out where you're going yet, yeah, it's not fun at all. Uh-huh. And I mean, honestly too, like when I first was a student assistant at South Carolina for the period of time that I was there, the first few practices during the spring that we went out to, the second that the timer runs out and they say where we're going next, I'm just waiting to see everybody else run so that way I know where to go because I had no idea.
Now, Shane and those guys, they still use a blowhorn, or what are they? Have they moved on to some fancy?
I don't remember it being some sort of
piercing. They have like a little piercing signal in everybody's helmet or something like that lets them know that it's a new period.
I'm trying to remember if it was a blowhorn or if they just used the horn that's on the scoreboard.
On the scoreboard?
I don't remember because I know that it eventually when the timer does go off, there's if I remember correctly, there was a sound, and then you hear Luke Day, the strength and conditioning coach, scream, "What's next?" And then everybody just takes off.
Okay. Special teams!
Exactly. It was running. Exactly like that. Yeah.
A lot of that.
Individuals!
Yeah.
And everybody just takes off.
Everybody goes to their spots.
So it's not like in the WNBA and some of the games where when a basket is made, it sounds like a Mario game when you get a coin. There's that funny little sound effect. I can't stand it.
No, it's
not that playful.
It is loud with bombast to make everybody move. So they're in the fourth practice. They're moving along. But Shane talked a lot yesterday. Now, here's a philosophical question, Nick. And Jen, you can answer this. So I'm really interested in this. Are you all good news first or bad news first people?
Jen?
Bad news first.
Bad news first?
I would agree.
Bad news first? Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that being said, we did a little bit of choose your adventure here. Since we are bad news first, Jen, can we get clip number 6 here? Because this is Shane Beamer talking about the injury situation that is currently exists with the Gamecocks.
No, normal bumps and bruises. A couple things that flared up today. Want to get a full report on before we update anything. But, the 2 you're more they're mainly interested in, Peak and Dylan, continue to progress. And then, it's that time of year in preseason camp. So,
not a lot. Not a lot of information there. But let's see. We're going to give him a chance. Go ahead, Jen.
I was just going to say, could we not get that report before the press conference?
Well, there was no report before the press conference. Let's give Shane another chance. Jen, this will be clip 11. Remember, we're still in the bad news portion of this conversation.
There's the NCAA requirements in regards to, there's an acclimatization period that all of our players are going through right now to be able to go full pads. So there's no different, but again, no different with them. But again, for us, it's, being able to practice. And we're not going to throw a guy out there in a game before he goes through a full practice with us. But again, we're following everything the doctors tell us and love where they are right now and the progress that they're making.
And with Neff and his total eligibility, I'm guessing he's got 4 years to play because of his birthday, or do you know the specifics?
I really don't
at this point.
I haven't dived into all eligibilities here for a while, so it's a good question.
The last part of that question was about Neff Jiwa, where they're trying to figure out what is his situation, because remember, he's brand new to America. not new to football, he's brand new to everything.
I enjoyed Shane talking about, like, when they were running kickoff return and punt return and being like, so this is what happens. This is why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
Because that's like, that goes back to, like, you start coaching kids, when they're younger.
Explaining the very basics. Yeah. So those 2 clips were Shane talking about the biggest question that we should have going into the season, biggest question of the offseason. And to be quite honest, Shane has not answered it, right? We've gotten... I don't know if Shane had his shoes on. I don't know if they were dancing. I don't know if he was sliding. But he's been extremely evasive in answering questions about what these major injuries. Now, this was the bad news section. The bad news section is that Dylan Stewart and Jakarius Peak are injured. They have not practiced yet. Yes, they are at practice, but they have not practiced yet. We do not know the extent of their injuries. Dylan Stewart is dealing with a very murky back issue, and Jakarius is dealing with a knee issue, which I think we have a little bit more of a handle on. That is the bad news.
Yeah, well, and I think, too, because there was a follow-up question, a few questions after he initially talked about their injuries, where somebody said, what's the timeline? Mm-hmm. And he basically said, well, they're on pace, but we're on the doctor's timelines. When the doctor says they can go, then they can go. But right now we think they're on the exact pace for where we want them to be, which is, it's more of an answer than he said the first time, but it's still, like he just said, and it's the same with high school. You have an acclimation period. Kids who miss the first few days of practice, if they didn't know or whatever it may be, all the other kids are in pads. We got 2-3 kids that are sitting there in their jersey. They can't do anything because now we're doing physical drills, and they have to either match up with each other, or if they're the solo in the group without pads on, they're probably just watching.
Well, here's the thing. I know, we all know coaches say they love rules, and they love, to quote the great Brad Loing, tell me the rules so I can bend the hell out of them. Right? So there's the acclimatization period. And as he said, these players are at practice. They're not necessarily practicing, but if you have on your helmet and your shoulder pads and you step over a dummy or two, that can count.
That counts.
That counts as practice, right? That absolutely counts as practice.
That 100%
right?
counts.
And let's say, okay, the next step is full pads. So while you're out there and you put your full pads on, and then the coach comes by and hits you on your shoulder pad, that's a full padded practice,
yes,
right?
It is.
Right? So we know we can figure these rules out. But the bad news is that they are not practicing right now, and there does not seem to be. We are not privy to the information that where they are, when they will be playing. To me, that is a red flag because we are rapidly approaching the season. I think the idea of them being ready to play for game 1 is quickly being removed. but every day counts as far as the recovery and recuperation process is concerned. This is something that I do think as we get closer to the season, as the camp time shortens and the season gets closer, something that we need to necessarily get a closer look on, because we haven't received an answer. We've received answers, but we haven't received an answer.
Is he keeping things closer to the vest?
Well, yes. Yes, he is keeping things closer to the vest. That being said, is he keeping it closer to the vest because they're further away from their timeline or because they're closer to their timeline? I don't know. But yes, he is playing it extremely close. And this is where the idea of being able to go to practice is important, because when there were open practices, coaches could not get away with just saying whatever, because I could look with my own eyes and I would say, oh, yeah, Jacarius is close, or he's not close at all. But now we only are dealing with relying on the coaches for their information.
Well, because that was the other thing with the follow-up question, too, yesterday, was he said they're doing some variations of drills that they can do. And so, like, for him to mention that they're trying to get through the acclimation period, I would assume that those are counting towards their acclimation period. But also, again, what kind of drills are they allowed to do? Like, can we get a little more in depth on that? Because it doesn't, obviously I wouldn't assume Dylan Stewart's out there doing a 6 points of contact drill with the pad and he's getting hands on a sled or anything like that. But to some degree, they have to be doing either, whether it be footwork, and with Peak it's different because it's a knee. But with Stewart, you got his back. What is he allowed to do? Because that seems like a very fragile area to try to be messing with if the timeline is not where we think it is, but it's on pace. I just feel like we just get put through the wormhole every time somebody asks about their injuries.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't ever get, like, we don't know what's actually going on. We can speculate and say all these things.
Right.
But like we've said it a couple times this week already, we're not insiders. So the best that we can do is gather the information we're given and come out and say what we're talking about right now.
Yeah, and that's why I don't love the idea of having to speculate. But if you can't see with your own eyes and you're not giving the information, that's all that's left. All right, so that was the bad news. We got the bad news. The good news is South Carolina had 2 players that were listed as all preseason All-Americans. Those 2 players are Dylan Stewart and Jacarius Peak. So the good news is we talked about top-end talent yesterday. There are top-end talent on this team. Dylan Stewart was also listed in Dane Brugge's NFL draft guide as the #1 rush edge in the country. Very specifically, possibly might go #1 overall based on the talent that he's displayed and the things that he have. Jacarius was ranked #4 as an offensive tackle, the #5 player in the portal. So we have some very talented players. That's the good news. The bad news is we are not sure what these very talented players are going to be able to do to start the season and moving forward into the season.
Yeah, well, and again, too, like my biggest concern as somebody who's played the position, not to the degree that Peak is playing, obviously, but a lineman gets hurt, it is very important to see how they maintain themselves during that period of time. Even if he's going through the acclimation period, that's not full practices. Is there a possibility where he's a little more, I mean, like, he's definitely going to be a little more out of shape than some of the other guys on the unit.
Mm-hmm.
There's no doubt about that. It's a knee injury especially, so I think we just recently learned he was running within the last few weeks, which is great, and you hope that is going to help him catch up, but same thing we said yesterday too. There's no such thing as being in shape as far as it comes to being in football shape.
Football shape is not running shape.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, and that's the big issue as far as these guys getting acclimated and being able to go. So I think that's something that we all should maybe necessarily keep an eye on, and we'll see how that progresses as camp moves forward. But I think with that conversation, we're going to get into one of my favorite topics. In the summer, you hear this all the time. These guys had a great summer. These guys did awesome things. They transformed their body. Well, Shane had a little bit of talk about that, and we'll have a conversation about that. This is the early game.
Wow, what a play. The Game Network. Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach. It's 2026 SEC Media Days.
And the game was there all week.
It's just a matter of starting over. I built these relationships, got to know these guys, these coaches and all that. There's no need for me to go somewhere else that's not home for me.
On the Game Network, the 107.5 The Game app, and at The Game TV radio on YouTube.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at herndonchevy.com.
Preston here for our friends at Absolute Glass, the premier glass company of the Midlands, offering auto, home, and business glass repair. If your glass is damaged, shattered, cracked, or broken, they can handle the job. Cracked windshield, no problem. They'll come out to your location and they'll replace it for you, usually for free, and they'll work directly with your insurance to take away the headache. They'll come out to wherever you are. School, home, work, it does not matter. Absolute Glass will come out to you, and they will take care of the job for you. Now, if you're at home, you're looking to increase the value of your home, Absolute Glass can take care of that for you, too. Windows, mirrors, shower enclosures. Say it all the time. If you can see through it, Ray and Marianne at Absolute Glass can do it. So check them out online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com. That's online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com.
Bill Gunner at 107.5 The Game for AAA Heating and Air. Look, I know you're thinking about a lot of spring cleaning right now, but are you thinking about your generators? You need to be. Those things are vitally important when our power goes out. You want to make sure your generator is running great. At AAA Heating and Air, they're ready to help you. So call today or visit their website. Call AAAtoday.com and tell them Bill Gunner with 107.5 The Game sent you.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. One question I'm always asked is, how did you become the largest injury firm in the world with over 1,000 attorneys and $25 billion in verdicts and settlements? One way was our financial strength. Medical malpractice is the third leading cause of death in America. To prosecute a typical case costs up to $250,000 in case cost. We advance them all. Product liability cases can have similar costs with an army of lawyers on the other side. Automobile insurance companies have the resources to fight. Guess what? So do we. Many law firms simply may not have the financial firepower to work up your case the way you deserve. And we don't charge by the hour. No recovery, no fee. If you have a question about your case or wish to become a client, go to forthepeople.com on your mobile device or computer. 24/7. It's that easy. Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
You love summer in the Carolinas, but you hate the paint, so do what all your neighbors did. They called Rhino Shield.
Looked at what it was costing me to have my house painted and realized that while it costs more initially for Rhino Shield, over the life of the product, it's a lot less.
Rhino Shield specifically formulated for our unique climate right here in the Carolinas, and it comes with a 25-year transferable warranty.
We chose Rhino Shield because of the durability of the product. Paints are mostly water. Less water gives you a more resilient product.
The warranty, 25 years, is something I just don't think you can beat.
We're very excited that we don't ever have to paint again.
Get the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 10% off the regular price.
Really would like to say thank you to their entire staff. Everybody all did exactly what they said they were going to do, exactly the way I wanted it done.
Here's owner Dan Hoey.
This offer is limited, so call today at 833-RHINO-99 or visit RhinoShieldCarolina.com.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Discover the Griffin difference. Turn these scorching summer days into unforgettable memories with a beautiful custom pool from Griffin Pools and Spas. Whether it's family fun, weekend cookouts, or relaxing after a long day, your dream backyard starts with us. Stop sweating through another summer and start making a splash in your own backyard. Call Griffin Pools and Spas today and let us build the backyard you've always imagined.
Griffin Pools and Spas. We make you feel good.
It's the Game Network Traffic Report from the Schroeder's Towing Traffic Center. Broken down and need a tow or even free signage for your lot? Dial pound 250 and use keyword tow truck today.
No accidents, no significant slowdowns currently, and hoping it stays that way. It's going to be warm for the rest of this week. 95 today, 98 tomorrow and Friday. Heat index each and every day could be 105 to 109. So it's going to just plain be hot. So do be careful out there. Of course, hydration. Stay out of the heat as best you can. Right now, we are starting off the morning at 72.
Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell, and Jen Jensen on the Game Network, 107.5 Game app, and at the Game TV radio on YouTube.
We got a lot of guys here. You come to practice and you don't make weight. And you tell me you don't eat anything. Well, I know the air ain't got calories, guys.
To quote the great Nick Saban, ain't no calories in air. And so we're talking about body transformation. This is the big conversation that we're having. It's Preston Thorne, Jen Jensen, WIS's Nick Harvey. And one of the conversations that always gets brought up in the summertime is, man, how have guys changed their body? What are the things that are happening? Who had a great summer? Who did this and who did that? And there's a couple of different ways that you can look at this. Now, yesterday, we talked about the guys who were on the freak list. The guys who go from 7% body fat to 6% body fat. We ain't talking about those types of guys today. We're talking about a little bit different types of body transformations. Jen, this is going to be clip number 4. This is Coach Beamer talking about some of the transformations that took place over the summer.
The older guys, a lot of those guys, I talked last week in the press conference about the summer that we had, and it's very evident. A lot of older guys on our team, whether it be returners or whether it be guys that have transferred in from other schools, they've changed their bodies in 1 year, and really this summer. You know, you look at guys, Hank Purvis, for example, coming in, an older guy that's played a lot of football, coming from a Big Ten program that came in here, and he's changed his body, lost a lot of weight, lost body fat, and looks great, and he's moving better now than what he was during spring practice. And there's a lot of stories like that. Tommy Weil on defense, a guy that's been around for a minute and been at multiple schools, but coming in and is now as stronger than he's ever been as a college football player. And that's very evident watching the improvements that our guys made from spring practice to the preseason. So, you know, kudos to Luke Day and his team.
Never nervous Hank Purvis came in at 330. And I said in the spring, I said 330 is cool, but when you get in that 99-degree heat, running 100 plays per game, and Coach Clemens talking about tempo, you're going to want to drop 30 of those pounds very quickly because it's not going to help you very much.
For the purpose of building what they want to build with the offense, I support it. But now, like, I hope that they don't take an updated headshot of him for the website because his headshot is awesome. And I don't want that to change. And if he looks different than his headshot, it's going to make me a little sad.
Is there a lot of meat around the neck?
A lot of neck.
A lot of neck.
There, yeah.
A lot of neck meat. Yeah, I could imagine that. The big thing about the body transformations in the summertime, as you said, the linemen, as listed, every lineman is over 300 pounds. And that, as we stated, you know, there was a time when that was an exotic thing, and now that's just par for the course these days. But when you start getting up in those ranges of 320, 330, that is a lot of weight to be carrying around in a tempo-style offense, in an offense that wants to move, an offense that wants to get set, an offense that wants to run a bunch of plays. And you're going to have to make a choice, right? You're going to have to make a choice over the summer. Am I going to live my life, eat these Bojangle biscuits, get another serving of grits, live the life I want to, or am I going to want to play offensive line? And obviously, never nervous Hank Purvis made that decision in the summer.
I'm from South Carolina, born and raised. I'm from Walterboro. I'm from the Low Country. Sometimes I feel like certain Southerners set you up to fail. Because you go to Walterboro, you know this. There's a buffet right there off of one of the main roads called Old House.
Nice.
And I used to go during the summers maybe at least once a week. It was at least once a week. And then I go out to football practice and be like, I'm so tired. Like, I don't feel good. Why are we doing this? And I realize now, I was eating too much. And that's the thing. You talk about that Bojangles biscuit. these guys, like, there's just too much good food in the South to be an offensive lineman in the South.
He's coming from Big Ten country.
And yeah, exactly. And that's like, especially was it UNLV coming from Las Vegas, like they got designer steakhouses and stuff like that. And you come down here and you can get chicken and country fried steak and you expect. I'm just saying, I'm very proud of Hank Purvis for avoiding all the good things that the South has to offer, because I can't imagine doing that.
That's a big adjustment for sure. I mean, you think big country or Big Ten, especially like farm country and stuff like that, it's a lot of meat and potatoes, you know. But you're getting in your proteins in that.
He's getting his proteins, but he hasn't been faced with the array of carbs that we offer here. Right,
it is pretty plentiful.
He's tried sweet tea.
He's well. I don't know. That's a good question. He might have. We see. Well, I imagine he didn't have too much of it this summer because he had to drop that weight. But it is a really important thing for the linemen to get themselves in shape. And you hinted at it, but I do think it's worth consideration for Jacarius. Now I don't know whether Jacarius is a very athletic guy, but he's also 310 pounds. Yeah. And as I like to state, and as Nick Saban, proxy Rob Ezel said, there's no calories in there, right? So if you don't eat, you won't gain weight. But you don't get to 300 pounds by accident, right? It's a very clear line of the way you get to 300 pounds, and that is by using your fork and your spoon and your hands to take food from the plate to your mouth consistently. Drink, food, all of those things, because you enjoy it. There's no other way you can get through. Big boned don't take you to 300. You gotta really be putting it away. So you said with Jacarius, it's really interesting because the way that us biggins can ward off the weight coming on is by being active, by running, by moving around. And when you're not active and you're sitting around, why wouldn't you grab another bag of chips?
Right.
Why wouldn't you get another thing? I mean, popcorn's healthy, right? Why can't I eat the whole bag?
I agree.
I mean, yes, it's kettle corn. Yes, it's sweet and has caramel and cheese, but it's popcorn. They said popcorn's healthy, right? Right. And so these are the things. This is the math that linemen run. Yes, this is the algebra that you run in your mind, and so they're gonna have to figure that out and make sure everybody is clear on that, and that's gonna be a very big point of emphasis for the line as they move through this summer.
Yeah, 100%. And again, I go back to it, but it really is a very compelling storyline to watch, is Jacarius Peete getting healthy and then seeing him get back into football shape. How are they going to work him in throughout the first few? Let's say he does come back week 2, maybe, right? Let's see how they work him back into that offense and how many series he gets, or how many plays throughout the offensive series he gets if they're making, because if you're in a tempo, you can make quick subs as well. So I'm curious to see, does he play 2-3 snaps at a time, come off the field? Because it's not only at that point are you taking full live snaps, you're also getting sprints in because you're having to get off the field, make a substitution, because there's no time to waste when you're trying to get someone off the field. As hard as it is for a lineman to hear sprint off the field and everybody's watching you because you're the only substitution, so it's the fastest you're going to run all week. Yeah.
Especially if he has on that knee brace, it's just going to be a whole lot of waddling coming off the field. Really quickly, Jim, before we get out of this segment, Nolan Hay spoke on being the fat guys. This is clip number 26. Nolan Hayes is pushing Hank Purvis for the center position. I haven't heard this yet, so I want to hear what he had to say.
I would like to say athletic fat guys. I think fat guys isn't very respect for us. I mean, we embrace it, I guess. Sorry, I did not expect that question. But yeah, I would just say athletic fat guys.
I want to know what the question was.
I know. Now I got to hear what the question was, because he seemed to be taken aback. But I will say this. We're going to move forward and talk about receivers who are not fat guys, but believe the meat package will be back, because Nolan Hay, you have a fat guy voice. And I heard you for 10 seconds. I know you 300-plus pounds. I don't know what that is, but we'll figure that out here in a second. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit of wide receivers. Mazio Bennett, Shane Beamer talked about him, and Nick Harbor. This is the early game.
Wow, what a play. The Game Network, Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
Hate paying for streaming? Well, the 107.5 The Game app is free. Yes, free. Just download the 107.5 The Game app.
Hey, it's Jen for CHW Cabinetry in Lexington. Did you know they're a locally owned business? They're a women-owned business, and they did great things for us when we had to totally gut our kitchen. We figured out what cabinetry we wanted, got the photorealistic rendering of the kitchen before it was finished, so it helped us kind of envision it as you were waiting for the cabinets to come in, but also helped us because we had so many other things we had to put together to get the kitchen done. And it was such a great experience. There was only one call that we were going to make when it came to updating a couple of bathrooms. We needed some cabinetry, and they were there for us. And I'm telling you, things that they can do to help with some functionality, maybe some organization in your home, with a pantry, with a closet, maybe an outdoor kitchen you're looking to put together. They can help you with that. Just check them out online, chwcabinetry.com. Call them at 803-520-6837. Tell them Jen sent you. CHW Cabinetry, locally owned and passion from inspiration to installation.
By American Military University.
Service opens doors for you and your family. At American Military University, military families may qualify for reduced tuition, affordable higher education for military service members and their families. Learn more at amu.apus.edu/military.
Visit the go-to spot for dining in downtown Columbia. Step into the Golden Spur, the official restaurant of the University of South Carolina. From bold, crave-worthy lunches to elevated dinners, plus handcrafted cocktails that hit every time. The Golden Spur brings the flavor every visit. Planning something special? From celebrations to business gatherings, their private dining and event spaces set the perfect scene. The Golden Spur, where campus meets community. Located at 700 Lincoln Street, right across from Colonial Life Arena. Come see what everyone's talking about.
At AAA Heating and Air, home comfort is their top priority. Call today to schedule a seasonal maintenance appointment. Let AAA Heating and Air qualified technicians put your mind at ease with a thorough inspection and cleaning of your heating and cooling system. Join their popular AAA Comfort Club to take advantage of extras like flexible visits, added discounts, and priority scheduling. Visit callAAAtoday.com to schedule an appointment. Tell them Preston on the Game sent you.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
The back-to-school sale is now in session at iMart Express. Get 2 pairs for $79, including a free 1-year frame warranty, upgraded polycarbonate lenses, and same-day pickup. It's a $200 value for just $79, making it the kind of deal that gets an A+ from kids and parents. With styles they'll love at prices you will. Shop the back-to-school sale at iMart Express today and get 2 pairs for $79.
Last year, we had 295 trials where we'd been offered a total of $90 million on all those cases. When the dust settled, we had recovered over $1.1 billion in verdicts and mid-trial settlements. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We became America's largest injury firm for a reason. We won a lot, $30 billion and counting. The best part of all those wins is that it helps you when you hire us. All those wins allow us to let the insurance company know we mean business. And believe me, they know who we are. If you've been injured, Google Morgan & Morgan results. You're not bragging if it's a fact. 3 million people tried to hire us last year alone. That happened for a reason. Visit forthepeople.com and let's get started this minute. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Joe Standifer, Esquire, 11915 Plaza Drive, Suite 301, Murrells Inlet, South Carolina, 29576.
Don't miss this sweet deal from Lakeside Seafood and Steak. Beginning this Friday at 9 a.m., visit 1075thegame.com and click on Sweet Deals to get a $50 gift certificate to Lakeside Seafood and Steak for just $25. Powered by Integrated Media, The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass, shepherdsglass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia, The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass. It's the Game Network Traffic Report from the Schroeder's Towing Traffic Center. Broken down and need a tow or even free signage for your lot? Dial pound 250 and use keyword tow truck today.
No major slowdowns, no accidents to report currently on your Wednesday morning. It's just going to be hot. 95 today, 98 tomorrow, and Friday into the weekend as well. The next several days, heat index could be 105 to 109. So it's just going to be beastly for the next several days. We're starting off your Wednesday morning at 72.
The Early Game. With former Gamecocks Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell, and Jen Jensen. On the Game Network, 107.5 Game app, and at the Game TV radio on YouTube.
Welcome back into the Early Game. Preston Thorne, Jen Jensen, WIS's Nick Harvey, meat package in the building. Talked a little bit of body transformations last segment. We will get back to that because Nolan Hay has an objection to being called a fat guy.
Yeah.
Apparently he wants to be acknowledged as an athletic fat guy. And that might be up for a little bit of discussion.
I'm not going to get to that topic yet. I just want to say I don't think I've ever noticed what a fat guy voice sounds like.
Yeah, it just has a little gargle.
Yeah, it does.
Just a little. I'm going to be honest. In listening to this show, I can tell where my weight is by how my voice sounds. 10 pounds up, it's a little. Get a little gargle in there, man. You lose a little weight, your voice sounds a little clearer.
A little bit, yeah.
Your neck, man, and the pathway of your neck, it's just a little.
Well, if I sit up here, no, I don't like that. I feel like I'm stretched out.
Insulation, man.
Yeah. Keep the pipes warm.
You need it. Yesterday, we had a lot of conversation about the wide receivers. And Shane addressed two of the topics that we talked about yesterday. And I'm going to give you dealer's choice. Nick Harbor as a complete receiver or Mazio Bennett on a milk carton? Which one do you want to talk about first?
Let's hear about Nick Harbor first.
All right, that's gonna be clip number 12. Let's hear Shane Beamer talk about Nick Harbor becoming a complete wide receiver.
Yeah, I think just the way that he works, such a great young man. He's got such great humility about himself, but that's why he is, God blessed him with a lot of ability, don't get me wrong, but he's worked his way into becoming a really good football player with just the work that he puts in, the humility that he has. He walked into Carolina and had all kinds of expectations on him because he was Mr. 5-star coming in here and track athlete, and rightfully so, but he didn't ask for all that. And there's all these expectations on him, and that's a lot on a true freshman coming out of high school, coming to college in the SEC. But he knew what he didn't know, and he knew where he needed to grow and work. And Mike Furry's done a great job with him. Nick's done a great job of just working. I mean, I think I've told you guys before, I remember going back to his true freshman year, and every year or every week during the season, every college team has a mandatory day off, and every Monday as a true freshman, was our day off, and he'd be in here in the building, just outside, the weight room, just putting in extra work on his own on a day off, just trying to get better, whether it be releases, whether it be catch point, and he's really made himself into a complete receiver, and has gotten better since last year too. So I'm really fired up about the 2026 version of Nicholas Harbor too.
You heard a couple of those phrases, releases, catch points, and things of that nature. I think the biggest thing for me with Nick is that despite all of the accolades, despite all of the press and the sort of the buildup that came behind him, is that consistently you've heard that he's been willing to work to improve. And I think that is an admirable quality for someone who had so much given to him at such an early stage.
Well, I also appreciated Shane acknowledging him, that God blessed him with just some incredible abilities in general. And then he already had those, but he had to translate those into abilities that work positively for football, and he's done that, right? Like he knows what he's capable of, and he will go get after it to achieve what he wants to achieve. And it's evident that he's getting out there and working on the catch points, like Shane said, releases, and that's the big thing. I think we saw it early on in his career. His releases can be I think at times he was having a really tough time getting off of defensive backs.
Because he had never played football.
Right.
Or never played wide receiver before.
Right. So, there were, I'm sure, a lot of adjustments that had to be made in the way that he carried himself, the way he played the sport. But I can appreciate how every single coach who has talked about him has talked about his work ethic and the fact that he just wants to get better on his own 24/7. It's impressive.
Because it does not have to be that way. Somebody who, with given and blessed with all of those talents and the speed, the height, all of those things, we've seen situations where people rest on those laurels and then nothing happens from that. So that is something that is highly commendable, and that is a reason why I think you should believe in the trajectory of Nick Harbor's career, because he's somebody who wants to get better. To quote Mike Tomlin again, it's not what he's capable of, it's what he's willing to do, and he's willing to work to get better. So that was his conversation about Nick. He also addressed Mazeo Bennett, which we've talked about a little bit. We talked about him yesterday. This is going to be clip 10, Jen. Let's hear Shane talk about Mazeo.
Yeah, just that's who Mazeo is. I go back to high school. I mean, he's just he's a competitive, serious dude at all times. He's very serious about his work. He's very competitive. That was evident in high school when we recruited him, and I can remember Greenville High School being out here in the summertime for 7-on-7, and you saw like when the lights came on, for example, or so to speak, there was like a switch that flipped with him, and that's who he is. And then you see him, what he did as a freshman. Today was a 3rd and long day, and we showed it in the team meeting this morning, the touchdown catch he had at Alabama, in Tuscaloosa as a true freshman. I was 4th and 9, I think, but still it was third or 4th and down and long. But being able to come in as a true freshman and do what he did, and then last season I know didn't go the way that he wanted it to as far as his role, but he didn't pout, he didn't complain, he didn't threaten to transfer. It was the competitiveness in him came right back out, and I think he's done an amazing job since January of just working, just keeping his mouth shut and just going, not that he wasn't before, but just keeping his mouth shut, being all business and just going to work. And he's made some, he's had 4 really good days. He caught a touchdown pass today on the very last play of practice. It was a really nice play, him going up and making a catch at the end of practice and from Cutter, and hope to see many more plays, like that from him this year.
It's interesting that he's kind of saved that right towards the end there, that he made the last catch of practice, but it was from Cutter Woods. Now, I will say, I agree. I think freshman year Mazeo was remarkably good. Like, he came in with his head down, he went to work, he proved himself very early. Last year had some adversity, and I don't know that it was fully a thing where the coaching staff didn't believe that he was as good as some of the others who got starting reps over him.
That's my
versus
vote.
Strictly, I think also maybe some of the coordinators maybe didn't feel that way. That's more specifically how I feel about it.
Agreed.
Because I do think Mike Furry, really likes Mazeo Bennett. I think he wants to see him on the field a little more. But at the end of the day, whoever's calling the shots ultimately is going to have that decision on what kind of personnel he's putting out on the field.
Correct.
So I think Mazeo's still got it. I think he's very talented. I'd like to see more of him implemented, especially in a tempo offense, because he's a very fast receiver, and he's sneaky in a way where, like, he can just get underneath the defense and nobody notices him. We saw multiple touchdowns scored like that his freshman year, where he was just there all of a sudden, and they were like, oh, look at that. He's wide open. Like, he's got the ability to, I think, be a game changer when he's locked in and he's doing what he needs to do.
Yeah, I mean, that what Shane said only supports, and I'm not, again, I say this all the time, I'm not an insider. I don't know what was happening, but based on what Shane said, based on what Mike Furry said, based on what we seem to know about Mazeo, and Mazeo's an in-state guy, so there's people around here that know him. There's no indication as to why he wouldn't have been playing last year, except that there was a rift, there was a misalignment in what he thought his role should have been and what the coordinator thought his role should have been, because when the coordinator was removed, he got back on the field.
He did see more, yeah.
So it seemed like that seems like a pretty straight and direct line. That being said, we spend a lot of time talking here on the radio. I try to be as direct as possible when I talk, but sometimes you get your words twisted, and sometimes you try and be a little bit coy. Shane might have pulled off the top word salad answer I've ever heard in my life, and that is impressive because we listen to a lot of coaches. But Shane has ascended from maybe coach level to politician level, and we'll hear it coming on the next segment. This is the early game.
Wow, what a play. The Game Network. Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
This is Bill Gunner with 107.5 The Game and The Game Network. If you run a diner, bakery, coffee shop, burger joint, pizza spot, or that hidden gem everybody should know about, how would you like to get the word out about your business without spending a dime? Well, we got you. All you have to do is text your name, your business, and your phone number to 803-404-6100. That's 803-404-6100. And we'll be in touch. There's no catch. Times are tough, and we're here just trying to help you get folks in the door of your business.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
The Vikings named Kyler Murray as their starting quarterback on Tuesday. The J.J. McCarthy experience has been a massive disappointment in Minnesota. We knew it was over this offseason when Justin Jefferson was going on podcasts and openly discussing the subpar quarterback play in 2025. Jefferson is the end-all, be-all in Minnesota. When he's not happy with you, something isn't going right, your days are numbered. Seems like he really likes Kyler Murray. I'm Dead Day.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand, so shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When the moments in your life are too important to miss, you can trust O'Reilly Auto Parts to keep you and your plans on the road. Our professional parts people can test your vehicle's battery and even give it a charge if needed. In most cases, we can install your new battery for free. It's just one of the many services we provide at O'Reilly Auto Parts to ensure life's best moments don't find you stranded.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Did you know that driving under the influence of marijuana is illegal? Driving high will get you a DUI. And if you're wondering if law enforcement can tell you're driving high, well, everyone else can. Friends?
I can tell you drove high.
Parents?
I can tell when you drive high.
Relatives?
I can tell. You drove here high, didn't you?
So what makes you think law enforcement can't?
I can tell.
If you feel different, you drive different. Drive high, get a DUI. Paid for by NHTSA.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
It's your captain speaking. To the passenger with the Mirror Fast soft chews, smart move.
No way am I letting travel constipation ruin this trip.
Can't blame you. Mirror Fast works fast, but without the harsh side effects.
Since I'm such a smart traveler, can I move to first class?
No. Close the curtain, Carol.
From the makers of Miralax, new Mirafast soft chews work naturally with your body in as little as 30 minutes to give you a comfortable go on the go. Find Mirafast today at your local retailer. Use as directed for occasional constipation. Contains magnesium hydroxide.
Surprise. Wait, do I know you? You use your Discover cashback card to earn 5% cashback on restaurants all quarter. Yeah. Now, it's payback time. Whoa, hold on. Go ahead. Oh, you mean my Discover cashback. I told you there'd be payback. You know, you have a weird way of delivering good news. I'm working on that.
Activate and earn 5% cash back at different categories each quarter on up to $1,500 in purchases.
Terms apply. See discover.com/5 for details.
The Early Game with former Gamecock Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell, and Jen Jensen on the Game Network, 107.5 Game app, and at the Game TV radio on YouTube.
Welcome back into the Early Game. It's Preston Thorne, Jen Jensen, WIS's Nick Harvey, Meat Package Wednesday. We're here. And a lot of times we hear coaches talk, and they've even come up with the word coaches speak, right? And when coaches speak is when you throw a lot of cliches at an answer, and you hope nobody asks you a follow-up. You just say something, and everybody's like, what did he say? And you just keep it moving. We're going to play hard. Both teams play hard, following one day at a time on to Cincinnati. You know what I'm saying? We just go. And that is a thing that we know to come to expect. But I believe Shane might have hit another level yesterday during the press conference, because he's been playing things close to the vest when you talk about some injuries, and that's to be expected. We get that. We understand that. We're not asking you to reveal. We're not giving you truth serum. We're not asking you to tell your darkest, deepest secrets. But we do expect maybe some level of transparency, and I believe Shane might have hit the accelerator on coach speak. He went to the platinum level, and he has ascended maybe to politician level, because this answer, I'm going to play the answer because I don't know if the question is here, and I want us to figure out what is the even answer. And this is going to be clip number 22.
The answer is no. Certainly, we've always got guys on our team, defensive guys that think they can play offense, offensive guys that swear they're a better DB than the DBs we have, and all that. So, I mean, I think you're always looking at how to get your best players on the field and think outside the box. But no, 4 days in, we've got enough going on right now trying to figure out, guys have enough going on trying to figure out what they do if they're on defense, what they do defensively, if they're on offense, what they do offensively. Are there some conversations that I may or may not have had hypothetically with certain guys about stuff down the road? Potentially, but that's down the road.
May or may not have had hypothetically, potentially. That is a sentence that I will be using further as I move forward.
Not to mention, right on the heels of him saying, no, we got enough going on, we haven't done any of that, and then to go say, I may or may not have potentially had those conversations with some of the guys.
Potentially hypothetically.
Potentially hypothetically.
I may or may not have potentially
well.
Hypothetically have had a conversation. The question was,
I think Hunter's going to come in and say, well, hey, Hunter, did you make your bed? Well, potentially, I mean, hypothetically, I sort of kind of, did. I visited it.
That's exactly.
I would use that in a heartbeat.
That's how I would implore everybody to use those sentences, right?
Yep.
Did you do X, Y, and Z? Well, maybe I may or may not have potentially, hypothetically, in somewhere down the road in the future.
Kind of like the old, well, did you stop at the stop sign? No, but I thought about it, and it's a thought that counts.
I like that. You say that to an officer?
Yeah.
Did you know how fast you were going? I may or may not potentially, hypothetically, maybe have been.
I might have been going faster than you wanted me to, potentially, hypothetically. Like, if you space it out properly, I think
for effect.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He hit them one by one, right after.
Potentially, hypothetically.
The question was, and the beginning of the question was even funnier, because I believe it was Hale McGranahan who asked him, have you all been considering switching sides, having any players switch sides or play both ways? And Shane goes, well, what are you alluding to? and then Hale goes, well, what are you alluding to? And they both have like a standoff. And then Shane gives that answer of hypothetically, maybe, possibly, periodically, in the possible future of the unknown, it might happen.
Well, I mean, and you do see that, right? It's like some certain special packages that a team will run. All of a sudden, you've got somebody over there, and you're going, wait a minute. Hold on, because that's the funniest part is you got such big rosters that guys wear the same number on offense or defense. All of a sudden, you see a number 5 come out on the field, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, that's not defensive number 5. Who is that? What's going on here? That happens, but it's very rare. But then again, I mean, and my question, I guess, further, the follow-up then is, who is or is not talented enough that you're considering putting them on a different side of the ball to fill a different position?
We have a bunch of guys who are also very talented who could play both sides of the ball, potentially, hypothetically, maybe in the future down the road if we were to cross that bridge when we get to it. It is what it is. Tomorrow's a great day on to Cincinnati.
That is, wow. I am just like kind of flustered a little bit almost.
I think that's the goal.
Yeah.
That's the goal. If I just throw them all at you at the same time and I just get you spinning around, you're like, I think he said something.
Like, imagine being a court reporter and a lawyer says, like, well, potentially, hypothetically, my client might have pulled the trigger. And everybody's sitting there going like, well, wait a minute. Potentially, he did. That man is guilty. If a lawyer would say that, you're done. So I'm just saying that means, in my opinion, I think he's had those conversations.
Hypothetically, maybe in the future, I'm not saying I did or didn't, but maybe I did or did not.
Yes.
When we come back, 7 o'clock hour, we're going to talk about our guy Pete Golden and whether or not he's going to get fired. We'll have a conversation about that. Ole Miss, is Pete Golden on the hot seat? I think so.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at HerndonChevy.com.
Sponsored by Mattress Firm. Still sleeping on that old bed? Mattress Firm's sleep experts can help you choose the perfect upgrade. They'll guide you every step, answering your questions. Shop today and save big during the best sale of the year. They make sleep easy.
Dining out? Yikes. Couldn't be me. Except, wait, it is me? Because now, for a limited time at McDonald's, I can get a classic McChicken or sausage burrito for just $1.50. You heard that correctly. $1.50 USD. That's less than the gas to get there. Or 1 hour of parking. Or, well, honestly, most things right now. Leave it to McDonald's to come through for me and the crew when we need it the most. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Sweet, $50. Who are you, and why do you have that guitar?
Now you want that $50. There's something you should know. The people in your life, the things they require will grow and grow and grow. There's your friend that wants you to buy him chips. Your cousin Nate who wants extra drip. Your aunt who'd love a titanium hip. Your dad with a house.
The South Carolina Education Lottery, where the fun goes on and on and on.
Bill Gunner for AAA Heating and Air. The spring is here. Dust, pollen, spring cleaning, all those important things. But have you even thought about the air quality inside your home? How are those air ducts holding up? Well, AAA Heating and Air is ready to help you. Visit them on the website. Call AAAtoday.com. Again, that's call AAAtoday.com. Call AAA Heating and Air and tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
It's the Hendrick Chevrolet Countdown to Kickoff. 24 days away.
Hendrick.
The most trusted name in automotive is right here in Columbia. Hendrick Chevrolet and Hendrick GMC. Buy now and make no payments for 3 months. Shop the nation's #1 dealer group, Hendrick Chevrolet and Hendrick GMC. With approved credit, see dealer for details.
Hey, this is Ray and Nathan with Pope Davis Tire Automotive.
Maybe it's 250 degrees right now in honor of America's 250th birthday.
So, come to Pope Davis for our All-American Star Spangled, Red, White, and Blue, Freedom Eagle AC Special.
$50 off charging your AC or $200 off if you need your compressor replaced.
That's really giving ice cold.
This offer only good while it's still really freaking hot outside or until August 31st.
Bet.
Visit us online at popedavistire.com.
Don't miss this sweet deal from Lakeside Seafood and Steak. Beginning this Friday at 9 a.m., visit 1075thegame.com and click on Sweet Deals to get a $50 gift certificate to Lakeside Seafood and Steak for just $25. Powered by Integrated Media, The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia, The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass. It's the Game Network Traffic Report from the Schroeder's Towing Traffic Center. Broken down and need a tow or even free signage for your lot? Dial pound 250 and use keyword tow truck today.
All looking pretty good so far. No accidents that we know of at this point this morning, so good news there. And do what you can to stay cool and hydrated today. 95 will be our high, 98 tomorrow and Friday. And hot and humid conditions. We're looking for a heat index each and every day this week of about 105 to 109. So just beastly hot. So do what you can to stay cool and safe. Right now, 72.
for the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game. WNKT Eastover, Columbia. A Cumulus media station. The Early Game starts with former Gamecock Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell, and Jen Jensen on the Game Network, 107.5 Game app, and at the Game TV radio on YouTube.
Thank you for hypothetically, possibly, maybe tuning into the early game. Maybe sometime in the future, you may or may not have been here or not, but we appreciate it. It's Preston Thorne, Nick Harvey, Jen Jensen. Elijah's on a beach somewhere.
Some beach somewhere.
Some beach somewhere. Drinking natural wines, enjoying himself.
España.
Just got to make sure that he didn't take the Phil Steele magazine with him. I hope he didn't travel with the college football almanac.
If he comes back with a lot of analytics next week.
He also may come back unengaged.
we know what the beach read was. If we're hearing a lot of numbers next week.
Uh-huh.
This is to be determined. We will find out.
Yeah, but come on, this whiteboard, I can fold it up. It can go in my carry-on. It's all good.
See, and I'll be on a cruise next week.
Uh-huh.
And I will not be taking the magazine.
Congratulations.
Good for you.
That's what you're supposed to do.
This is the last little break before everything gets crazy.
That's how you're supposed to handle it. But I do know the allure of the Phil Steele magazine is pulling at a lot.
Especially if you have, if you're just relaxing and, hey, I'm just going to sit here and I'll do a little reading.
Beach read.
Yeah, no.
Beach read. I'll go look at the G5 at the MAC. I'll go look at who's going to be the leader in the MAC this year.
Yeah, no.
So let's just hope our boy stays strong out there and enjoys himself and enjoys all the things around it. Well, 7 o'clock hour, we've been talking this week about some of the pressing questions that are facing other teams around the country. And you made a very strong point, and I want to reiterate that, is that we are so Gamecock focused, we're so centrally focused that we see our issues. We see the things that we have to deal with, whether it's injuries, whether it's who's going to play wide receiver, whatever the case. We're very familiar with us. And what we've maybe failed to realize is that there are other teams, top-rated teams around the country, who are facing similar issues. Yeah. Yesterday we talked about Georgia. Georgia doesn't know really what their wide receivers room is going to look like. I went out on a limb and said our wide receiver room is actually in a better place than Georgia. That's tough to say. I know that may be considered a hot take, but when you look at the numbers, it's not that much of a difference.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Against Ohio State, we know they're going to be top 5, top whatever the case is, but they have issues on the offensive line. They played well until they were exposed by Miami and Indiana when the CFP came. So those are questions that even top-rated teams have to answer. So, yes, we know every team in the country is trying to answer questions, even the great ones, even the ones that are expected to make deep championship runs, still have to face the idea of, do we have enough? And that leads us to this conversation today. The question is, who is Pete Golden? And with that, I see your face shaking, your eyes moving, and I want you to verbalize that.
He is a football head coach at Ole Miss who just became a head coach, and his press conferences are entertaining purely for the fact that I think he has a funny voice.
Oh, okay. Well, Jen, can we hear Pete Golden's voice?
In this profession, you're going to get fired.
Exactly. Yeah, that's funny. I got a great kick out of that when I heard it.
It was great.
And it's not because of just that he said what he said. It's the way he said it.
Uh-huh.
He's like one of them old, like an old Southern judge.
Uh-huh. One more time, Jen.
In this profession, you're going to get fired.
Get fired. I know, it's got a little Matthew McConaughey thing going, too.
Go get fired.
I wonder did you think he says like, what?
Pete is a really interesting dude. Aside from some of his off-the-field antics, which may have held him back in his career to this point, he has a very nice head of hair. It's gray. It's curly. Sometimes it's unmanaged. I think he's trying to take care of that now that he's a head coach and not a DC.
You know those hats that they sell? Like you go up to like West Virginia or
Yes,
something,
I
you
know
stop at one of them little roadside gas stations. It's got all the hair coming out. My uncle had one. He was bald, and he had one of those hats for a long, long time when I was younger. I thought it was the funniest thing in the world, and now I'm seeing the real life version of it with Pete Golding.
Pete does have a little bit of that going on.
Yeah.
I know exactly the hat you're talking about, the straight hair. I know what you. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Here's my question, man. I think Pete Golding is on a hot seat, and it's not because of something that he's done. It's not because of anything that he didn't do. It's because of the fact that he took over this job. Yes, he in a situation. By the way, again, Lane Kiffin left the team in the middle of a historic playoff run. I don't think that can be said enough times without us making sure that we understand how Pete Golding got here. He takes over the team. He's the DC. He takes over the team, and he continues the trajectory. They make a run through the CFP. They beat Tulane. One of the best games of the year against Georgia. Make a run against Miami. Almost get Miami to the point where they're going to be playing in the Natty. So they made a run through the CFP with Pete Golding as the coach. My question is, can he do it from the start?
I have a tough time answering this because I think to some degree the Pete Golding hire was a spite hire, right? Like I think they had a feeling Lane was going to clean house when he left to take the LSU job.
Which he did. He did.
He did. He absolutely did. And I
Who's
think,
coming with me?
right? And all the guys are like, oh, me. I'll go to Baton Rouge. But somebody from administration said, hey, Pete, here, what if we give you this amount of money to stay here, and you can outcoach him next year? And he took the opportunity to prove himself. And again, you talked about it. He's got a little bit of a battled history. Here's a chance to prove yourself on the big stage with a team who just had a pretty dang good offseason, or postseason, rather. But you're right. Now we've gone through the full offseason cycle. He got the full offseason. You know, a lot of times you see coaching changes. They come in December, right after the season's over. They get the full offseason to kind of step in and do what they want to do with the program. And I'm sure there are some big differences between how Golding would head coach a program versus how Lane head coaches a program. But Lane's also got years of experience under his belt. Pete Golding, as a head coach, doesn't really.
He does not.
You know, so it's like there's a big learning curve, and to have a head coaching job with an SEC program that just got to the semifinal, and that's a big ask to try to turn that around and do it again this year with a program that you did not run until after that run was over.
Correct.
You weren't fully in charge until it was done.
The foundation was laid for you.
Right.
And even though you went in there and changed some things, and I do think you had the emotional wind behind you of saying, hey, that guy left, win one for the Gipper type of deal, or do it for yourself, however you position that, there was a lot of motivating factors. And the way that I've been explaining it is Pete essentially baked the cake out of a box.
Sure.
All he did was open up the cake, pour the powder in, crack an egg, stir it up, put a little water in, boom, voila, you had a cake. Now Pete is being asked to make a cake from scratch. Flour, measuring, wet before dry, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like all the things that we don't know if Pete is capable of doing this. He might be. He might be the best thing. They might have backed themselves into getting a great coach. We don't know. And as you stated, with the high expectations, the consensus number one quarterback in the SEC, some people are saying in the country, in Trinidad Chambers coming back. He fought to get another year of eligibility, a sixth year. All of those things with the recruiting that Lane had done, the players that they were able to keep, the players that they were able to poach, according to one dabble, William Christopher Sweeney, called him in the middle of class. So they say, allegedly, possibly, hypothetically, if I potentially did not or did not, maybe.
Send him a picture of a check. Allegedly.
Allegedly. So I position that Pete Golding is in a hot seat year because September 19th is going to be Lane Kiffin comes back to Ole Miss. And I am not sure what I want to happen that game.
I'm really conflicted because I honestly, there's a part of me that wants Ole Miss to win, and maybe he throws out another hey, maybe he's gonna get fired. That would be awesome. You know what I mean? But that's the thing. Who has which head coach? Let's just put this scenario out there. In your opinion, depending on who wins this game, who has the snarkier post-game press conference?
Ooh. Well, it depends on if we get Enlightened Lane. Has he done his yoga? Has he been journaling and reading the books and all that stuff? Or if he forgets and remembers who he was, who he is, and he just has a flashback, there's potential for him to be on fire.
Yeah.
Because that place is not going to be friendly.
Nope.
It is going to be an extremely hostile environment. He's going to need all the yoga he can take in order to make it through that game.
This is the same school that was throwing golf balls and mustard bottles
Correct.
a couple years ago at Tennessee.
Correct.
So, what's Lane going to get?
Correct.
I don't know. I'm the greeting is not going to be thank you for what you did. That's all you know what I mean? And I think they could, if depending on how it goes, if LSU comes in and wins that game, we could see a real fiery press conference out of Lane, I think, afterwards.
It can happen.
I would like that to happen, I think.
So you saying you want LSU to win. But what if let's say this. What if LSU comes in there and they dog walks Ole Miss in the stadium in Oxford, and those Ole Miss fans are looking at what they used to be and looking at what they are now? That is a very tough situation for Pete to be in.
Yeah, it is. Ooh, man, that perspective is.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
if they're running up on him and Pete can't stop him, whatever the case is. The ideal scenario is that Lane in a building year goes in there and maybe loses a close one. Pete's able to hold on for another year, and the folks are excited about him. But the way that Pete was hired, remember, there was no interview process. He was the interim coach. He just was sort of placed in a position because he was there and they needed to do something at the moment. They didn't want to lose him.
And that just doesn't always work.
And that does not always work. And so this is going to be a very interesting scenario to see how this plays out because of the expectations that are placed on Ole Miss, which they've never had before. And so they can say what they want to say. They can obviously not like the way Lane left. They can not like what he did. I don't. I'm not a fan of it. But Ole Miss has never been in this position before. And it is because of the work that Lane Kiffin did. And that's kind of my issue with Lane. Hey, man, you got them there. You were right there. You left a place that you were potentially could win a national championship for another place to potentially. What's wrong with us?
Right.
And that's that's the feeling. And that's where it gets personal.
Yeah, it does. And it makes you, I still kind of wrestle with this conversation. Here we are, 8 months later, something like that, that you chose a more prestigious program, but you had one that you were turning into a prestigious program in a way. Like the Ole Miss was becoming a regular annual conversation of, hey, is this team going to compete in the college football playoff? Like there were regular conversations about how far they could go in the postseason because of what he was building in Oxford. And now all of a sudden, like we've just been talking about, like we're talking about an Ole Miss team that could have a one-and-done head coach this year if they don't perform and do what they did last year. And I'm not saying they got to go to the semifinal, but if they're not on the cusp, if they're not on the bubble of the playoff, I think there's going to be a very serious conversation at the end of the season because Ole Miss at this point has had it really good and they want to stay having it really good. And they're going to go to the lengths that they need to go to continue that trend.
Yeah, once you've had it, you can't go back, right? You can't go backwards in. Once you've seen and it's been so close, you can almost feel it and touch it. It's going to be interesting. I'm just interested to see how the Pete Golden story plays out this year. I do think this is a hot seat year for him, not because of anything he has or hasn't done, but just because of the situation that he's in. When we come next for our morning meeting, we're talking body transformations, the meat package. Our guy Jalen Carter from the Eagles has talked about coming into camp and what he had to go through to get into the camp in the right shape at the right number. When we come back, I pose a question to everybody listening and everybody in the studio. This is the early game.
Wow, what a play. The game Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
A moment of good feels from your home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
Asia Wilson and the Gamecocks are number one.
Now that's some good feels right there.
For the first time in school history, NCAA champions of women's college basketball.
From 107.5 The Game and The Game Network. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at herndonchevy.com. Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. shepherdsglass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass.
BOGO is back at iMart Express.
Come on. Okay.
Right now, for a limited time only, new customers can buy their first pair of glasses and get a second pair free. Plus, with eye exams available and same-day glasses, you'll never miss a moment. It's the kind of savings and service you can really get used to.
Okay.
Find a location near you at imartexpress.com to shop our BOGO event today and see everything we have in store for you. iMart Express. Get glasses. Go see.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing. And for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
Employers want to grow your workforce? Regardless of your location, size, or industry, SC Works can offer personalized services just for your business by posting jobs, creating job fairs and hiring events, finding tax credit opportunities, and more. Visit scworks.org to discover even more services at no cost to you. SC Works, where there's more. An equal opportunity employer/programs. The only aids and services are available upon request from individuals with disabilities at 8 a.m. do.sc.gov. For program funding details and compliance with teams women, please visit do.sc.gov/funding.
And now, a no-frills ad sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Here it is. You can save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive. That's it. See? Just a good old-fashioned, straightforward ad. See if you can save at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE or progressive.com.
Massive insurance companies may want to keep you from getting what you deserve after a car wreck. Don't let them. I'm Michael Jeffcoat, and my team is right here in South Carolina to fight for you. For over 26 years, we've helped your neighbors recover millions. We know the law, the system, and what it takes to win around here. And remember, no recovery, no fee. That's my promise to you. Call 803-200-2000 for a free consultation. The Jeffcoat Firm. You deserve better, so call us.
Responsible attorney Michael Jeffcoat, 1333 Main Street, Columbia.
The new Smokin' Honey Melts are here at Firehouse Subs. They were founded by firefighters, so when they make a new melt, they build it right. Melty, toasty, and packed with prime rib or grilled chicken breast, then drizzle with the new Smokin' Honey Chipotle sauce. Sweet, smoky, built right. It takes a firehouse kitchen to make a melt this good. Try the new Smokin' Honey Melts today, only at Firehouse Subs, at participating U.S. restaurants.
Are you calling your IT company over and over for the same issue, getting passed around to people who can't help? Or worse, getting hacked after being told you were protected? That's not normal. At IntelliSystems, real engineers answer the phone live, resolve issues quickly, and explain things in plain English. If something feels off with your current IT provider, it probably is. Call IntelliSystems today and see what better IT support should actually feel like. IntelliSystems.com.
It's the Game Network Traffic Report from the Schroeder's Towing Traffic Center. Broken down and need a tow or even free signage for your lot? Dial pound 250 and use keyword tow truck today.
I-126 eastbound approaching Greystone Boulevard. We have an accident. The left two lanes are blocked. Again, that's I-126 eastbound approaching Greystone Boulevard. Left two lanes are blocked, so certainly stay right and stay hydrated. Try to stay cool for the next few days. 95 the high today, 98 tomorrow and Friday. And each of these days we're looking for a heat index 105 to 109. So it's just going to be smoking. Right now, we start your morning off at 72.
The Early Game. With former Gamecocks Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell, and Jen Jensen. On the Game Network, 107.5 Game app, and the Game TV radio on YouTube.
Welcome back into the Early Game. Preston Thorne, Jen Jensen, WIS's Nick Harvey. Meat Package is in the building. And if there's one thing that the Meat Package fears, it's the scale.
Yeah. So you say
the
that?
bane of my existence from the time, 8 years old. From the time that I started trying to play organized football, the scale has always been staring at me.
I was that kid in school, like middle school, when the belly first started to form, that I'd be like, I'm going to lose it this summer. Watch. Watch. I'm going to get skinny this summer.
The summer is going to happen.
Football season would roll around. I'd be like, I'm going to guard. All right.
Well, we talked about Nick Harbor being a freak and being blessed with the things that God is blessed with. I've not seen a picture of myself as a child where I was not a bowling ball. I've never was skinny. He's like, oh, he just grew. This, if you would have looked at a picture of me when I was 3, you'd be like, yeah, that's what he's gonna look like.
There's a specific picture of me. I was probably 3 or 4, and I'm holding this like a trick or treat bucket, and I wasn't like necessarily big at that point, but my head was so disproportionate to my body that in that moment I think I could have realized like, that's gonna be he's gonna get bigger. Just watch.
See the paws on that puppy?
There. It's there.
It's gonna happen.
You were solid.
Yeah,
solid.
Big brain.
Yeah,
big brain.
Big brain.
That's what they tell you.
That's right.
That's what they tell you. And so for today, for our morning meeting, it's weigh-in day, and we have a guest, Jalen Carter. So hit our morning meeting music, Jen.
Good morning. Good morning. Repeat after me. Today will be an awesome day. Let's go. Good morning, great today. Today will be an awesome day. Good morning, great today. Today will be an awesome day.
Now, one of the rituals of NFL training camps, of all training camps, is weigh-in day. You've worked all summer. You come in, you get weighed in. The skinny guys, they do their weights, and they're like, whatever, it doesn't matter. But the real air comes into the room when the big guys walk in, because big guys have to make weights, especially in the NFL. And I wouldn't be surprised if they started doing this in college now. But in the NFL, you are often contract bound to meet and make specific weights. Sometimes they do this in a positive way, as in, hey, if you make this weight, we will give you a bonus. But sometimes if you're under contract, if you don't make this weight, we will take away weights. We will take away money. I've heard numbers upwards of $10K per pound if you're overweight. So, if you're supposed to be reporting in at 315 and you come in at 325, that's $100K. I've heard numbers along those lines. So this is a perpetual thing that people are thinking about in the offseason. Well, Jalen Carter, who's listed at 6'3", 314 pounds, which there's no shot that he's 314 pounds. But I'll let him have that. 6'3", 314 pounds. Here is Jalen Carter. This is going to be clip number 34. This is Jalen talking about him being proud of himself this offseason.
Vic had a little thing going where he wanted me to come in at a certain amount of weight, and I made that weight, and we had a little bet or whatever going on. It's all fun and games, all principles and stuff like that, but, it's just coming in with a mindset that also shows that, the contract wasn't my biggest focus. My biggest focus was putting a smile on Coach Vic's face coming in at my weight, and he was happy, and we dapped up, we hugged it out, and, we doing good. We just working every day.
How much lighter you had to do to get down to that weight in terms of conditioning and what you ate? Or?
Yeah, mostly eating, and drinking. I like juice, so, I might drink some juice, but I had to slow down on the juice. And most of it was just all water and juice in here. But I just slow down on most of the main things and eating like once a day, maybe twice, but making it small portions, not big daddy meals,
What flavor?
What flavor? I like Minute Maids. They got Minute Maid like the raspberries and all stuff like that. But
how much lighter are you than last year?
Lighter? It's probably like 10 pounds, not too much, but it's a difference where I can feel it though. Yes, sir.
What's a big daddy meal consist of?
Boy, just fill the plate up. I'm telling you, whatever it's rice, the whole thing, right? Everything. I need everything you cook. That's it.
How do you think it's going to help you during the season, being a little lighter?
Just moving around, getting out of stack. I already play a lot of plays, but being less tired throughout the plays and learning how to, save my energy from some plays to help throughout the game.
A lot of Big J journalism. I appreciate those reporters asking the important questions of our guy Jalen. So, couple of things here. He said they asked him if he had to do any conditioning or anything to lose the weight, and he said, "Nah, just had to give up juice."
Yeah, and we're not talking pressed juice. No, we're talking the 25 grams of sugar per 4 ounce Minute Maid.
My favorite part of that whole thing is somebody asked him what kind of juice, and he said Minute Maid.
Yeah,
he stood 10 toes down immediately.
You know what he's talking about, though.
Yes, I
know
do.
exactly the juice he's talking
100%.
about. Fruit punch is mine. I love it. It's a good thing. So my first question to the group is, and juice could be your thing. What is, and this is anybody out there listening, I would love for you to text in, call in. What is the thing that is keeping you away from your goal weight? For Jalen, it was obviously Minute Maid juice. Anybody else have a thing that is the bane of your existence?
Chocolate.
Yeah. It's tough. Tough foe.
Yep.
Very difficult to beat chocolate. Now, is this chocolate candy, chocolate bars, chocolate?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, there's really no discriminating.
Yes.
And especially you get a little bit of stress. It's like, you forget about that. Yeah.
There's definitely two types of people, right? There's people that when they're stressed, they don't eat. And then there's people like me.
Yeah.
See, my thing, the worst thing anybody ever could have told me was that Fairlife chocolate milk has protein in it.
Oh, right.
Because I'm telling you, I'll be like, that means I can drink chocolate milk whenever I want.
30 grams of protein.
That's protein.
100 grams of sugar, but who's counting?
It balances.
Not me.
Yeah.
Look, and I like the Core Power Elites, the 42 grams of protein. Those are good. They're not terrible for you, and they taste close enough to the chocolate milk. They just cost a lot more money because there's so much protein in them. And
they're super expensive. They're like premium drinks.
I buy them in bulk and forget how much it costs. That's what I try to do.
That's probably the strategy. So we have chocolate, we have elite proteins. I'm a bread guy, man.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, anytime they start talking that nonsense about cutting carbs and keto and all, I'm like, man, get out of here with that. I cannot. There's nothing better to me than the Big Daddy sandwich, to call it, as Jalen Carter just said.
I did a keto for about 2 weeks a couple months ago, and the first day, because I was trying to, I'm using all sorts of things to try to figure out how I'm going to do my meal plan. One of the things, it was like, oh yeah, and then some days for lunch you can just roll up lunch meat with cheese and eat those. It's like a Lunchable, and I was like, yeah, but where's the crackers?
Yeah.
Why don't I get to use crackers for this? That don't make no sense.
I need the crunch.
I don't want.
Yeah, if you can just use 2 slices of zucchini, I was like, what?
Yeah.
No.
What are you talking about?
Wait till I show you the picture of the sandwich I cooked a couple weeks ago. I'm going to do that when we get to the break.
I like a good sandwich picture.
Me too.
Nice. Well, my husband's had a big transformation, and I'm impressed with him because, sometimes we'll go to a burger place, and he'll, wrap it in lettuce, and I'm like, that's just wrong. Massive success. You're doing incredible.
Congratulations.
But
good job.
I can't do it.
But see, if I'm going to a burger place and I'm not getting the bun, I just want the burger then. I don't think I can live. I personally cannot put the lettuce wrap on a. No, I'm not doing that.
That's a bridge too far?
That's way too far. I'm not doing it.
Well, shout out to Jalen Carter for giving up juice.
Good for him.
Being an adult. Giving up the Minute Maid juice.
In the big boy meals.
Yeah. No more Big Daddy meals for Jalen Carter. He came in 10 pounds lighter. I don't think that's true, but we'll find that out. But when we come back, keep pounding Preston. Ask Nick a question because I had some bad news delivered yesterday. This is the early game.
Wow, what a play. The Game Network. Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
The Game Summer Golf Classic is coming Friday, August 28th at Charwood Golf Club in the heart of Pine Ridge. Co-hosted by the Lexington County Gamecock Club. 9:30 a.m. shotgun start. The world-famous onion sausage for breakfast. And Little Pig supplies lunch. The morning libations bar from Saki's Wine and Spirits. The Golf Gun is back with proceeds going to Camp Discovery. Also, lots of free stuff. And you can win Gamecocks football tickets. $440 a foursome. Call Charwood at 803-755-2000 and hit prompt number 2. Come hang out with us at the Game Summer Golf Event on Friday, August 28th.
Pressing here for our friends at AAA Heating and Air. Now listen, as a big guy, I know the heat. I pay attention to the heat. I keep my heat rag, sweat rag with me because I know it's going to be hot and I want to walk into a building and I want it to be cool. I want it to be comforting. And that's why you need the folks from AAA Heating and Air to help you out because your home comfort is their top priority. You don't need to wait any longer. It's going to be hot for at least another month and a half. I promise you that. The rest of August, September, probably even into a little bit of October, and the folks from AAA Heating and Air can help you out. If you want even more peace of mind, ask about the AAA Comfort Club, where members enjoy priority scheduling, flexible visits, and exclusive discounts. Take your home comfort to the next level and beat the heat. Call AAA Heating and Air today at 803-920-3771. That's 803-920-3771.
Sponsored by Taco Bell. You know how some places have a secret menu? Well, this is not that menu. It's the Cantina menu, and it's only at Taco Bell. At participating U.S. Taco Bell locations for a limited time only while supplies last.
Protecting your family, your health, your home. I'm David Hill of True Protect Pest Services, and that's what we're all about. At True Protect, we're more than your local pest control provider. We're your neighbors, and we care. Our technicians are certified in modern, environmentally conscious treatments that work. For local, reliable pest service, call 803-400-8188. That's 400-8188. I'll actually answer the phone, and we'll get started. True Protect Pest Services, proven pest protection.
Powered by Integrated Media, the Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia, the Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass.
Mike Rowe here with a fun fact. Did you know that 50% of the air that you breathe inside your home comes from your crawl space? Yeah. Whether your crawl space is wet, smells musty, or your floors are bouncy, do yourself a favor, call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys, and they're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to repair your crawl space. Mount Valley Foundation Services is now Groundworks. Schedule a free inspection.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
At Pioneer Tree Service, the Gann family's been taking care of trees in Columbia and surrounding areas for over 48 years. You'll see their trucks everywhere around the Midlands. They do tree work for homes and property owners and commercial jobs like the State House, Midlands Tech, City of Columbia, and the University of South Carolina. Pioneer Tree Service provides tree and shrub removal, tree pruning and thinning, tree planting, cabling and bracing, stump grinding and removal, storm damage service, property cleaning and grading, right-of-way maintenance, and more. The Gann family and their team at Pioneer Tree Service can be trusted to provide professional and quality tree services with affordable pricing and prompt service. Call them today for a free estimate. 803-794-8253. Chelsea Fullerton says not only did they come in with the cheapest quote out of 3 companies, but once we hire them, they came out and got the job done the next day. They did an incredible job, and I really can't recommend them enough. Here's one of the Gant girls, Madison Gant.
Call us today for a free estimate.
at 803-794-8253.
Or check us out online at pioneertreesc.com.
The U.S. Soccer Podcast.
These players are battered and exhausted, but you don't hurt like this if you don't care about this team, about this country, about this game.
You can feel the intensity, the goals, the energy, the wow, look at us.
Here in the U.S., I have got some news for you. There's so much more to come. My name is Megan Klingberg, and we're just getting started.
The U.S. Soccer Podcast, presented by Henkel. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Hate paying for streaming? Well, the 107.5 The Game app is free. Yes, free. Just download the 107.5 The Game app. It's the Game Network Traffic Report from the Schroeder's Towing Traffic Center. Broken down and need a tow or even free signage for your lot? Dial pound 250 and use keyword tow truck today.
If you're heading on I-126 eastbound, approaching Greystone Boulevard, stay right as the left two lanes are blocked. Weather-wise, it's going to be beastly the next several days. 95 is the high we're expecting today. Mix of clouds and sun really for the next couple of days. Tomorrow, 98 on Friday as well. Heat index for the next couple of days could be anywhere from 105 to 108. So going to be toasty. Right now, 72 on 107.5 The Game.
With former Gamecock Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell, and Jen Jensen on the Game Network, 107.5 Game app, and at the Game TV radio on YouTube.
Welcome back into the early game. Preston Thorne, Jen Jensen, WIS's Nick Harvey, Meat Package Wednesday. Our boy Jalen Carter likes the Minute Maids, the Big Daddy meals.
We have the meats.
The meats are in the building. And, you know, according to some folks, the meats aren't really the issue. It's really the carbs and all the accoutrements. But again, man, what's life? What's life without all of the fancy, fine things?
Can we go back to that word?
Accoutrements?
What was that?
All the fixins.
I like that. I like
it. Sounds better if you say accoutrements. I'm gonna start using that. Yeah. You put the accoutrements on there.
What's the accoutrements?
Yeah, that's how you make it. That's how you know what accoutrements means? Calories. That's all it means. This means extra calories. That's the extra calories that don't count.
I'm gonna start saying it and telling nobody what it means.
The sauces, the toppings, all those great things. But congratulations to Jalen Carter. He came in 10 pounds underweight, made his weight. I don't know how long that's gonna last. That'll probably last for camp, and then he'll probably get back to his regular schedule program after that. But speaking of camp, y'all know I'm keep pounding Preston. Big Panthers fan here, big Panthers guy. So this news does not necessarily directly affect me, but Nick is or was, which part out we found out the reason why earlier. We found out some of the reasons why he was Skull Nation. Skull, right? So we found out some of that, but there was big news in Skull Nation, and this does personally affect me because if I was a GM, I'd be fired.
You're going to get fired.
I would be fired in this profession because if I was a GM, I was betting the house on J.J. McCarthy. And everybody told me not to. I ignored everybody's calls. I made the signal. I said, J.J. McCarthy's my guy. And now J.J. McCarthy has gotten benched.
Yeah, he did.
Now, as a Vikings fan, supporter, okay, how do you feel about this? J.J. McCarthy has been named as the backup quarterback to Kyler Murray.
I mean, we've had these conversations before. We talked about it a lot last year. I've never been a 9 guy. Mm-hmm. We've had our disagreements because of that one play.
I'm just telling you, man. If you just watch that play, I know it's in there somewhere. He can be successful.
But see, you're talking about a guy who did not get through his rookie season.
That's correct.
He wasn't even a starter his rookie season.
Correct.
He got hurt, didn't play. Comes back, starts, 10 games last year? And got hurt again and was sidelined for a couple of those. I just don't trust him.
That's fair.
I don't think you can because he doesn't stay healthy. Like, he's not drinking enough milk. The bones aren't. That's a guy who needs Fairlife chocolate milk.
He does. He needs more protein.
He needs protein. And I'll stand on that. But I also just think a lot of times the decision making just isn't quite there. And that's why, like, I think it was this week we've talked about it. There's a way where I feel like the NFL over the past few years especially is embracing the draft a quarterback in the first round, take one early, get rid of your starter, and let this kid figure it out. That's not how it should work. You need to, like, there should still be a process and a system where you're drafting a quarterback with the idea that they are the future, but they got to learn first. You still have to have a starter who is filling that role and teaching them, as long as the starter is receptive to it. Because obviously we've seen it in the past where team drafts a younger quarterback, the long-tenured vet doesn't like it, and there's
Aaron Rodgers.
Who said that? I don't know where that came. That came out of nowhere. But I just don't think J.J. McCarthy had that. He didn't have a Kirk Cousins like Fernando Mendoza's now got.
Well, they would have had a
They
Kirk
would have had
Cousins,
one.
but they said, get out of here.
All right, see you later. Right. Why? I just don't get it. And that's why I think there's potential, but I don't think he has. And Kyler Murray sure ain't the veteran quarterback, in my opinion, that you want to learn from and develop into being a quarterback in this league under. That's not where it is. It's not what it is. Can't be.
Well, you knew there was a miscommunication of what was happening here because earlier in the season, Kyler Murray was trying to be, I guess, the adult in the room, and he was like, the quarterback room is great. We're competing for a job. And then JJ was like, no, it's me versus him, whatever he said. They had a different version of what they thought. Yeah. But as soon as they brought Kyler Murray in, JJ should have started to take notice.
I agree. I think that's an early recognition in anybody's eyes that, hey, maybe they don't trust you. Mm-hmm. Maybe they don't think you're the guy that they thought you were going to be. So maybe pick it up and hypothetically, possibly, put in the work and earn the spot. Because, that's, again, the past 2 seasons, they were preparing to hand it off to him. There was no battle. There was no, you know what I mean? And now he's got some adversity, and he's not done enough to respond to it.
Did you see what J.J. McCarthy said?
I haven't. Oh boy,
I couldn't, and I can't get the audio to audio, so I'll just read it. I feel like I proved last year that I was an elite quarterback and that I could win. I could win this team a Super Bowl. I don't know how Kyler is supposed to play well when he can't see over the O-line.
There's no way.
I hope he didn't say that.
There's no way.
I see a video. I don't know.
There's no way. There's no way.
We'll research that. That's interesting.
We'll get our research staff on that. I hope that's not.
It could be just all in fun, but let's start some controversy, because he needs a little bit of something.
Well, Minnesota needs something.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: Minnesota is the team that, with Kevin O'Connor, as he's supposed to be the quarterback guy. So what they're hoping is that Kyler Murray goes there, revives his career.
They're going to pull a Sam Darnold.
That's what they're hoping that it ends up happening. But that's the point. That's the bigger point about J.J. McCarthy, because when the quarterback guy gives up on you, and Kevin O'Connell was trying to say, I still see a future for him, and that's kind of like you getting told that we should just be friends. And when you don't want that, right?
Yeah,
when I wanted a relationship, you just wanted to be friends.
Yeah.
We don't have anywhere to go after this, and that's going to be a tough spot for JJ to work. I would imagine that he gets either traded and or released at the end of this year.
Yeah, I would think so. And somebody was having some fun. It wasn't real, but I just wanted to see how much I could stir the pot a little bit for him.
Take a deep breath.
Yeah. I know. I was enjoying that.
So I will pack my GM bags.
Mm-hmm.
I have just been fired because my the person I bet the farm on is now benched after year 3. So maybe that's not my particular calling. I made a mistake on that one. We'll see how this ends up working out. But moving forward, we know here at South Carolina the game against Clemson is a big deal, right? Rivalries are huge. The new coach in Michigan does not quite understand that yet. And I want to come back and have a little discussion because this is another one of my guys. Two of my guys are in the news for not doing great things. When we come back, we'll discuss why maybe Kyle Whittingham doesn't quite get it yet. This is the early game.
Wow, what a play. The Game Network. Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
This is Elijah Campbell from 107.5 The Game and The Game Network. If you run a diner, bakery, coffee shop, burger joint, pizza spot, or that hidden gem everybody should know about, how would you like to get the word out about your business without spending a dime? Well, we got you. All you have to do is text your name, your business, and your phone number to 803-404-6100, and we'll be in touch. There is no catch. We know times are tough, but we would love to help you out and your business.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
A shift in Minnesota. Following a difficult first season on the field, the Vikings have officially named Kyler Murray their starting quarterback for the upcoming season, effectively moving J.J. McCarthy to the bench. After a high-profile training camp competition, head coach Kevin O'Connell and the front office decided to pivot away from the former first-round pick, handing the keys to the offense to Murray as Minnesota looks to rebound. I'm Drake Toll.
Oh, hey, Sarah. Did you hear my daughter Katie got Camper of the Week?
That's a big deal.
We got a big deal too, right, Mom?
Honey, shh.
What's that?
Okay, that Hyundai Santa Fe, I only paid.
Nice.
Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days, or 1.9% APR for 72 months on the Hyundai Tucson, Tucson Plug-in Hybrid, Santa Fe, or Santa Fe Hybrid during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Offers end September 8th. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
DQ presents the Blizzard Double Flip Deal. For a limited time, when you buy one Blizzard treat, you get a second for just 99 cents. That's 2 Blizzards, 2 spoons, 2 flavors, and 2 flips. So don't miss out on the Blizzard Double Flip Deal, available only for a limited time and happening now at DQ. Because the only thing better than a Blizzard treat is a second Blizzard treat for just 99 cents. It's a deal to flip for. The Blizzard Double Flip Deal. Get it in the app. Participation may vary.
A better life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
Here in the United States, we're pretty lucky. We fill a glass of water from the tap. Most of us don't need to think twice about what's in it. But a new report from the Environmental Working Group found more than 62 million Americans, roughly 1 in 5 of us, may be exposed to potentially dangerous levels of a contaminant called nitrates. They're invisible, tasteless, odorless. They mostly come from fertilizer running off farms and into the water supply. At high levels, nitrates have been linked to certain cancers, preterm births, and birth defects. Now, I don't tell you this to scare you. EWG has a free database where you can look up your zip code and check your own water. If your levels are high, experts say the best fix is a reverse osmosis filter on your kitchen tap. Skip the bottled water. That's actually even less regulated. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
Life matters. Ankh Perhor had resided in Boston for some time. He was brought into a local hospital for observation with a state-of-the-art computerized X-ray machine which provides cross-section views of the body. Doctors observed strong calcium-rich bones and a full set of healthy teeth. The muscles on the right side indicated he was right-handed, and a spinal abnormality revealed a ruptured disc which kept him in constant pain. He was about 30 years old, or at least he was when he died. Ankh is a mummy who resided at the Boston Museum since 1872. No one had seen his face or his features since he was embalmed in 600 BC, about the time of the prophet Jeremiah. It's hard to imagine, but the eye of God is more revealing than tomography. King David said, "O God, you have seen me and know all about me." Neither linen wrappings nor a finely tailored business suit can hide what we really are from God. This is Stephen Chitty. Remember, life matters, and so do you.
The Early Game. With former Gamecock Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell, and Jen Jensen. On the Game Network, 107.5 Game app, and the Game TV radio on YouTube.
All right, we play a big game at the end of the year here. We know who we played. We played them for the last 100 years except for one. We know that's going to happen. We know it's a big deal. Rivalry, in-state. People don't talk to each other for that week. People put up flags, all those types of things. We know it's a big deal. You have to be a part of this thing to understand why it's a big deal. Jen, when you were moved here, you were asked very early to do what?
Pick a side.
Pick a side, right? You got to declare early and often and let your allegiances be known. Well, Kyle Whittingham has found himself as the new head coach of the Michigan Wolverines, and he has found himself in a very similar situation. We all know that Michigan and Ohio State is the game. Last weekend of the year, often at noon. Sometimes it has some very huge stakes on it, but it is a premier rivalry. Those folks do not like each other up there. In fact, I went to Columbus, and it was the first time that I ever saw one of those urinals with the other team's logo as a target, essentially. I was like, okay, these people are serious here. This is a big-time thing. Well, Kyle Whittingham doesn't quite understand that. Jen, can we get clip number 5 here from my boy Kyle?
In other words, will we have a better chance to win if I hated them? Or, I mean, I don't understand. Whatever gives us the best chance to win, I'm all for. Want to beat them worse than anybody, around. And so I don't know how that got to be such a hot topic. Anyway, I cut you off. What was your question? No.
Yeah, Kyle Whittingham stated that he didn't hate Michigan, and he didn't hate Ohio State, and that was not enough. That was not enough for the Michigan faithful. They are now questioning the hire.
He went on further just now to say, I don't know how that became such a hot topic.
Uh-huh.
What do you mean? That these long-standing rivalries are deep-rooted in hatred. Mm-hmm. Let us not forget there was a Clemson-Carolina game years and years and years ago where shots were almost fired because Clemson was a military school and they marched to Columbia.
Correct.
Ready to start a war.
Very, very great stories.
You talk about, I don't know why it's a big deal. Michigan and Ohio State is just as, that is one of the rivalries in college sports in general, especially football. And you're going to sit here and say, I don't know why it's a big deal. That's the kind of stuff that aggravates me.
Uh-huh.
Because
Kyle's my guy, too.
I like Kyle Whittingham a lot. But how are you going to come in?
See, here's the thing. Kyle is trying to apply rational human logic to something that is actually irrational. He's trying to say, like, hey, we don't need to hate the other school. That's not going to help us win. That doesn't increase our chances of winning. And it's like, hey, Kyle, we don't have time for your rationality right now.
Stop it.
Yeah, that's not what college football is about.
That's enough. Somebody
he needs to fake it.
Yeah.
I agree.
Stop being so rational, Kyle.
Yeah.
We don't want that. We want you to get up there and say, I hate Ohio State. Buckeyes stink.
We're going to plant the flag at midfield.
I'll never wear red again. Right. Yeah, whatever you need to say.
He came from a very mellow part of the country, though, with Utah. And
listen, he understands this concept because he coached at Utah for a long time. But maybe he doesn't really understand this concept because he coached at Utah, but he graduated from BYU. So maybe he's a guy that could think like, okay, I can see both sides of the issue here. And, whenever the other team's playing, I cheer for them. He might be one of these types of guys.
He's being too reasonable.
That's exactly because we don't want reasonable things in our coaches. They play the Holy War. They call it the Holy War.
Right.
That is a big thing. Utah, Provo, huge deal when Utah plays BYU. They understand, and that's interfaith hate, right? These guys have the same faith, and they still hate each other.
Yeah.
So how do you think this is going to go with Michigan and Ohio State?
I don't know. Like, you talk about rational. That's like, again, we were having this conversation the other day. Rick, as a journalist, does a great job of saying all the in-state teams, I want them to do well. And he, even when we get to Clemson, Carolina week, he doesn't really get too spirited about one or the other, whatever it is. And I respect that.
Because he's a professional.
Because he is the professional.
Correct.
He sets the standard, no doubt. I do not. Like one of our anchors is a Texas fan through and through. We don't even play Texas. And there's random days where like she walks into the newsroom and I just
throw horns down.
Could throw horns down at her for fun, just to stir the pot. Like I am not the consummate professional when it comes to college football. I am going to, even if South Carolina's having a tough year, I'm still going to find a way to find something about you that I can say that'll upset you.
Right. And I think it just comes down to maybe he just hasn't been exposed enough to it. He hasn't experienced it enough to it. And he's going to explain it. I'll never forget Langston telling me about the first time he saw interviewing Will Muschamp, the first time Will Muschamp went up to Clemson. And Will did not understand what this was. He thought it was another game. He knew it was a rivalry, but he didn't understand what it was. And I believe that was one again. They beat him like a lot to a little bit. And he could see Will looking like, oh, this is actually important. So, Kyle, I understand you're rational, and I understand what you're trying to say here, but we don't want any of that. Turn the hate up. Football sports hate is fine, and it is going to help you win those games because you're propelled by emotions. This is the early game. 3rd and long coming up next.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at herndonchevy.com.
If you are in the search to help get yourself out of a little bit of a tax jam, that IRS maze comes for a lot of people, and it can almost feel insurmountable to get out of. Well, I have a hire for you. That's John Ecton and his team at the Ecton Law Firm. Look, my friends at the Ecton Law Firm have been helping thousands of families and businesses just like yours escape that IRS maze. It may feel insurmountable. It may feel like an overwhelming task, but John and his team at the Ecton Law Firm have been handling these things, right? Doesn't matter if it's personal income tax issues, business tax issues, whatever it is, there's nothing you can tell them that they haven't worked with before. And this all starts with that free consultation. 803-771-9800. That's the number to call to set up that free consultation with the Ecton Law Firm, and they are here and ready to offer you the peace of mind you know you deserve. Again, that number, 803-771-9800, or you can always visit them at ectonlawfirm.com. That's ECTONlawfirm.com.
Sponsored by the Blood Connection. Earn $70 in TBC rewards when you donate blood with the Blood Connection. Local patients need your help. Will you be the reason someone gets another tomorrow? Only 3% donate, and that's not enough. Donate today. Visit thebloodconnection.org. Some exclusions apply.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing, and for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
The U.S. Soccer Podcast.
These players are battered and exhausted, but you don't hurt like this if you don't care about this team, about this country, about this game.
You can feel the intensity, the goals, the energy, the wow, look at us.
Here in the U.S., I have got some news for you. There's so much more to come. My name is Megan Klingberg, and we're just getting started.
The U.S. Soccer Podcast. Presented by Henkel. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
It's the Hendrick Chevrolet Countdown to Kickoff. 24 days away.
Hendrick.
The most trusted name in automotive is right here in Columbia. Hendrick Chevrolet and Hendrick GMC. Buy now and make no payments for 3 months. Shop the nation's #1 dealer group, Hendrick Chevrolet and Hendrick GMC. With approved credit, see dealer for details.
It's the Game Network Traffic Report from the Schroeder's Towing Traffic Center. Broken down and need a tow or even free signage for your lot? Dial pound 250 and use keyword tow truck today.
Want to stay left if you are on I-126 eastbound approaching Greystone Boulevard. The right lane is blocked, so do stay left. as you are traveling on I-126 eastbound, approaching Greystone Boulevard. And forecast, yeah, it's going to be hot. It's going to be humid for the next several days. We're looking for a high today of 95, 98 Thursday and Friday. But as we mentioned before, each and every day, heat index could be between 105 and about 108. So just beastly hot. Be careful out there if you would. 72 currently on 107.5 The Game.
Your home for the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game. WNKT Eastover, Columbia. A Cumulus media station. What a catch! The Early Game with former Gamecock Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell, and Jen Jensen on the Game Network and streaming on the 107.5 The Game app.
Welcome back into the Early Game. The Early Game, third and long. Preston Thorne. WIS's Nick Harvey, Jen Jensen, a boy Thomas in the control room. We got a lot of things happening. Now for the 6 o'clock hour, I presented everybody with the classic situation, the classic good or bad news situation, and they both chose the bad news first. And if you're just tuning in, we have this situation where there's very good news. That's me editorializing. Let me not do that. There's good news. I don't want to sway the jury here. There's good news and there's bad news. Now, Nick, you decided to go bad news first. Why in general do you go bad news first?
I just want to get it over with.
Okay.
I want to hear about it and then hear what the positives are, be able to move on and see, hey, how can we build off of the bad? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I want to hear it, let's process it, and then move on.
So, like, if somebody was to give you the bad news and then they give you the good news, are you able to hear the good news, or are you still gonna be stewing on the bad news?
I think it depends on how bad the bad news is. You know what I mean? Like, that's fair. But see, at the same time, if I hear the good news first, I'm thinking about what the bad news is gonna be the entire time, and I haven't even heard it yet. I'm anticipating the bad news being worse than the good news.
I like this. So let's try that. So here's the good news.
Yeah.
The Gamecocks have had 2 players named to another preseason All-American list.
That's awesome.
These 2 players are great. These 2 players are going to be awesome. One is on the first-team All-American list. One is on the third-team All-American list. How you feeling?
I'm very excited about that, actually. That's a positive sign.
And what if I told you these 2 players also were selected as maybe the top potential first-round pick in the NFL draft for 2027, and another one who is going to also has a first-round grade listed by Dane Brugler as the number 4 player at their position? How do you feel about that?
That's awesome. Super encouraging for everything that we got coming this year.
So not only do you have the number 1 player at their position, you have the number 4 player at their positions, and these are very important positions.
Yeah.
These are not just random positions. How you feeling?
Very good.
Okay.
I've been thinking about the bad news, though.
The whole time?
Yeah.
I've
been waiting on it because I want to know.
Okay, well, those 2 players are Dylan Stewart and Jakarius Peak, and here's the other part of that news. Here's the other side of that coin. Both of those players are currently not practicing. They're at practice, but they're currently not practicing. How do you feel now?
I don't feel as good about it at all. like Dylan Stewart, I feel still fairly optimistic because it seems like between the 2 of them, he's going to be, I think, on the field maybe a little bit sooner than Peak.
You think?
It seems that way.
Ooh, I don't know. Let's lay it out for some folks who may or may not know. We don't know. Nobody knows. We don't know. Well, somebody knows, but we don't know. Here's the situation. To not be close to the vest, to be transparent. Dylan Stewart was named by Dane Brugler is to be the number 1 potential rush edge position in the nation, potential top 10 pick. As he stated, edge rushers are the highest paid and highest drafted players on the defensive side of the ball. And we, as Gamecock Nation, have the number 1 person at that position. He's been this from the time that he came here. He is going to be somebody who is selected, barring not further or more injury, he's going to be selected in the top 10 of the first round. That is almost as much as a lock as you can have. Dane Brugler also stated that Jakarius Peak is the number 4 offensive tackle on the NFL draft board. And if you've been paying attention, those dudes get drafted high and they get paid a lot of money. And so if we wanted to game this out, if you're looking at how football payrolls work, the highest paid position is going to be what?
Probably the quarterback.
Quarterback. We got one of those.
Yeah.
He's a potential first-rounder guy. The second highest paid position is going to be the person who chases the quarterback. And the third highest position is going to be the person who protects the quarterback from being chased by the person who's chasing the quarterback. So if you're looking at those positions, quarterback, rush, edge, and offensive tackle, we have 3 guys who are potential first-round picks. That is extremely good news. That is something that you want to hear. That confirms what a lot of the pundits have been saying, that South Carolina has top-end talent. But here's the rub. Both Dylan Stewart and Jakarius Peak are not healthy right now, and they are not practicing. Where does that leave you?
I don't know. You know, again, because like we talked about this a little bit earlier, I think Dylan is probably in pretty decent shape. He's a fit guy for the most part, especially as a lineman. Like that's the kind of build you want for the new age of edge rushers. But with an offensive lineman, it's a lot harder to judge where he's going to be once he is healthy, because those guys don't just get into game shape in a week.
Because they like the Minute Maids.
Because
and the Big Daddy meals.
They like the juice and the Big Daddy meals.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's a hard designation where I'm excited about the potential and with the way that others are seeing them. When you see the nationwide pundits start recognizing the talent and what these guys are capable of, that's very, very exciting. But it's also, these guys are judging that based on what they've already seen and not what they're going to see. There's now expectations that they can do these things and be as high up as they are, but we don't know if they're going to be healthy soon enough, and when they are, what kind of shape they're in.
And that's the biggest question. And Shane addressed that yesterday during his Tuesday press conferences, which he'll be having weekly. I assume if the journalists are doing their job, they have to be asking this question every week until we get an answer. And this was Shane's answer. This is going to be clip number 6, Jen. This is Shane talking about the injury situation.
No, normal bumps and bruises. A couple things that flared up today. Want to get a full report on before we update anything. But, the 2 you're they're mainly interested in, Peak and Dylan, continue to progress. And then, it's that time of year in preseason camp.
So the first part of the question, he was addressing if there were any new injuries, and he was saying, no, there's some bumps and bruises. That's cool. But the second part of the question, he was addressing Jakarius Peak and Dylan Stewart's status, and he essentially said they are on track. And what we don't know is, what does that mean? On track for what? On track from where? Where are they going? Where are they been? Where are they coming from? And I think this is, to me, this is emerging as the biggest story in the offseason. As these preseason accolades continue to pile up, preseason All-Americans, draft status, all this stuff, you have to balance that with the idea that we don't know if these dudes are going to win or if they're going to be healthy.
Right. And then again, like I said earlier, there's a follow-up question about, do we have a timeline? And he basically just continues to say it's the doctor's timeline. When they say they're ready, then they're ready.
We have it. Jen, can we get clip number 11 here? And you can cut it off when he starts talking about Neff G. We'll get to that later.
Yeah, there's the NCAA requirements in regards to, there's an acclimatization period that all of our players are going through right now to be able to go full pads. So there's no different, but again, no different with them. But again, for us, it's, being able to practice. And we're not going to throw a guy out there in a game before he goes through a full practice with us. But again, we're following everything the doctors tell us and love where they are right now and the progress that they're making.
And with Neff and...
Thank you, Jay.
So that's my point, though. Like, we're following the progress of what the doctor's making. That's not it is an answer, but it's not a clear cut like the doctor says 2 more weeks. It's just we're following the doctor's timeline, and then right now they're on pace. What pace is the pace? Like that's the next follow-up question. Okay, you won't give me a timeline. What's the pace then? You know what I mean? Like these are the things that I think like people start to have to. You got to get creative with the way you follow up on the questions now, because he's going to tell you it's the timeline and they're on pace for how we want them to be. Okay, I want to know what the pace is. Is it the first SEC game? Are you expecting them to be able to come in and play series against Mississippi State? Are you wanting them back by week 2 against Towson just so they get the snaps and get a game feel before you get into SEC play? These are questions that I think a lot of people are asking and not getting any sort of information on.
Right, and this is where I think we're going to talk about this a little bit more tomorrow. There was a time when practices were more open. There was more transparency. So the coaches could be able to maybe answer a question one way, but if we were able to actually see practice, we could be able to say, oh, well, yeah, Jacarius looks good. He's doing his drills. He's running. He looks slim. All these things are happening. This seems like it's on pace. Now we don't have that information. We know they're at practice. We know they're participating in rehab type of drills. But from that, we're left to essentially trust in what the coach is saying. This is not to say that the coach is being intentionally misleading or that he's lying or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is when coaches don't have to give out information, they will not. And so we're essentially going to be left to wonder what the timeline is, as you just said.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I don't know. I don't think there's enough depth that I don't think it's a huge cause for concern with the offensive line, because it seems like they've got a starting 5 that they're comfortable with right now. But at the same time, the second that they say, hey, he's good to go, Jacarius Peak slots into a starting role. Mm-hmm. I'm sure of that. Mm-hmm. And Dylan Stewart, we all know what Dylan Stewart is capable of. He is a force to be reckoned with. They need that presence, in my opinion. I think they've got it on the edge where they can at least run stop. They've always had a pretty good run stop defense for the most part. I think it comes down to when he gets on the field, he's going to get extra blockers. It frees up a younger or even just another edge rusher. Again, we've talked about this before with Kyle Kennard and how good of a season he had. It's because teams knew that one of the top edge prospects in the country was at South Carolina, and they were doing everything they could to make sure that they were blocking him.
They were double-teaming the freshman. Not the fifth-year guy. They were double-teaming the freshman.
Right. And it led to Kyle Kennard.
And you know what just came to my mind? Think about how good you feel as his teammate when you know you got Dylan Stewart in the huddle with you. You're like, oh, we're going to ball today. Our guy is here. This guy is going to make – it just brings up the energy of everybody in the huddle, on the sideline, in the booth. And so that is a presence that needs to be felt as they continue moving towards camp.
Well, I think there's a point to make too, right? Like there's always going to be the mindset of, hey, it doesn't matter. We're going to play with who we got. We got what we got. We're going to be just fine. And I don't disagree with that mindset whatsoever. But it is a glaring absence when somebody like Dylan Stewart is not playing.
When you have the potential #1 overall pick in the NFL draft, and he can either be playing for you or not, that makes a difference. Yes, next man up. We're going to play with whoever we got. We'll take whatever. Yeah, I hear you, Coach.
All we need is 11 guys.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, heard that song and dance.
I got you. We might only need 9 guys if we got one of him.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If we got one of those guys, he might count as 2.
We only need 11 guys until he gets healthy, and then we'll see what happens. I get it.
So it's a question that it will be answered because time's not going to stop.
Right.
The games are approaching. The calendar will keep moving.
Days.
They are going to have to be in their rehab process. But I do think this is the biggest question coming out of camp for me, because if the Gamecocks want to reach the levels that I do think they're capable of reaching with all of this top end talent, all preseason all pros, first round draft picks, all of these guys, these dudes are going to need to be healthy because they are going to be continuous contributors to the team as a whole. When we come back, we'll continue listening to Shane because he also addressed something that we talked about yesterday, and that was the wide receiver room. And there were 2 specific cases. talking about, obviously, Nick Harbor, but he also had a conversation about Mazeo Bennett, and I want to go a little bit deeper into that. This is the early game.
Wow, what a play. The Game Network. Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach. It's 2026 SEC Media Days.
And the game was there all week.
Is the legislation really what you're asking, what I would have drafted had I been given the pen solely? No. But that's part of the legislative process, the back and forth.
On the Game Network, the 107.5 The Game app, and at The Game TV Radio on YouTube.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at herndonchevy.com.
Who's got really good branding? University of South Carolina. You know who they like to team up with? School Cuts and Minuteman Press. And if it's good enough for the University of South Carolina, then I think it's good enough for any business, school, university, or nonprofit organization, because for 30 plus years, you look at School Cuts and they've been providing these quality screen printing, embroidery on all types of uniforms, spirit wear, branded apparel. I've gone into the building before and I've seen the hats they make, the pullovers they make, sweatshirts, everything, anything that be printed on apparel, School Cuts has you. And then for Minuteman Press, they do the brochures, they do the booklets, they do the signage, right? Everything that you need to put your logo or any type of branding on anything, School Cuts and Minuteman Press is your one-stop shop for all of it. I even wear a bunch of Minuteman Press and School Cuts shirts that they made for us at 107.5 The Game. And, of course, you can visit them today at 1415 Gervais Street in Columbia or 518 Westender Street in West Columbia.
Powered by Integrated Media, The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass, shepherdsglass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia, The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass.
The new Smokin' Honey Melts are here at Firehouse Subs. They were founded by firefighters, so when they make a new melt, they build it right. Melty, toasty, and packed with prime rib or grilled chicken breast, then drizzle with the new Smokin' Honey Chipotle sauce. Sweet, smoky, built right. It takes a Firehouse kitchen to make a melt this good. Try the new Smokin' Honey Melts today, only at Firehouse Subs, at participating U.S. restaurants.
Right now, somewhere in America, a student is training, a student is studying, a student is working when nobody is watching. Not for recognition, not for attention, but because excellence is a habit. The 2026 Patriot Games are searching for exceptional students ages 14 to 17. Students ready to compete, ready to lead, ready to show America what they're capable of. $250,000 scholarship prize pool. Applications are open now. Your story, your opportunity, your moment. Applications now open. Freedom250.org. America's next champion could be you.
Discover the Griffin difference. Turn these scorching summer days into unforgettable memories with a beautiful custom pool from Griffin Pools and Spas. Whether it's family fun, weekend cookouts, or relaxing after a long day, your dream backyard starts with us. Stop sweating through another summer and start making a splash in your own backyard. Call Griffin Pools and Spas today and let us build the backyard you've always imagined.
Griffin Pools and Spas, we make you feel good.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Make sure your family is well taken care of with life insurance. Protect your phones, laptops, and more with electronic device insurance. And cover your furry friends with pet health insurance.
There's never been a better time to find a job through SC Works. SC Works staff help you network with employers, update your resume, and even submit applications at job fairs. More job fairs and more hiring events than ever before. Visit SC Works online or a center near you today. Sponsored by SC Works, where there's more.
Sponsored by SC Works, a proud partner of the American Job Center Network and Equal Opportunity Employer/Program. Auxiliary aids and services available on request for individuals with disabilities. For program funding details and compliance with the Stevens Amendment, please visit do.sc.gov/funding.
It's It's the Game Network Traffic Report from the Schroeder's Towing Traffic Center. Broken down and need a tow or even free signage for your lot? Dial pound 250 and use keyword tow truck today.
I-20 eastbound at Alpine Road have a report of an accident there, as well as I-26 westbound near I-77. Still working on I-126 eastbound approaching Greystone Boulevard. There's still a slowdown there. And one more to let you know about, that's Highway 21 at I-77. And we have talked about it all morning, and you're hearing it everywhere. It's going to be hot for the next several days. 95 with a mix of clouds and sun today, 98 tomorrow and Friday. But remember, heat index 105 to about 108 or 9. Doesn't really matter at that point. It's just going to be hot. But right now, it's 72 on 107.5 The Game.
The Early Game with former Gamecock Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell, and Jen Jensen on the Game Network, 107.5 Game app, and at the Game TV radio on YouTube.
Welcome back into the early game. It's Preston Thorne. WIS's Nick Harvey. Thomas in the control room. Jen Jensen producing. Got the whole crew here. My boy Elijah is somewhere, hopefully on the beach in Spain, not doing analytics.
You think he's listening to Spanish music too?
I hope so. Yeah. I hope so.
I could totally see him doing
eating
that.
tapas.
Like Tommy Boy, like, you know, the Eres tú, Eres tú.
I hope so. I hope his hair is growing longer, right? I hope
Comes back with like a tan.
Nice olive tan.
Like one of those, what's the, I'm drawing a blank. It's like the, we'll come back.
All right.
We'll come back to that.
Hope his skin is very olived and tanned and all that stuff, so that we can get to work, because the season is approaching. The season is happening. We're in the middle of camp season. There's a couple of mileposts during camp. There's the first day in pads, first scrimmage. We haven't gotten to those things, but those things will be coming. But one of the questions that we talked about yesterday was what's going to happen in the wide receiver room. A big thing that we've talked about is that, hey, there's other programs around the SEC that have questions in their wide receiver room, mainly Georgia. Georgia doesn't necessarily know what they're going to do. I position that our wide receiver room is in a stronger position than maybe Georgia is. Now, that feels dangerous to say just because of history, but I don't feel bad about that saying that. And with that being said, we know Nick Harbor. We know he was number one on the freaks list. We've heard about him. Everybody on the country sort of knows about him. So we're not going to do that here. But I do think it's more interesting to talk about what the rest of the room looks like. And one of the names that came up yesterday was Mazeo Bennett. You had a very interesting take on Mazeo from his first year to this year.
Yeah, he was a guy who I think earned a lot of trust very early on as a freshman at South Carolina. He was a receiver that was sneaky. Like he ran really good routes, but also just found a way to like just magically be open. I don't know how he went unnoticed so many times his freshman year in coverage from defenses, but there were, thinking
about that Kentucky touchdown.
I'm thinking about the Kentucky touchdown, and then I think it was even that Alabama touchdown that he scored. He was virtually open until right towards the end of the play when he made the catch and was, you know what I mean? Like he found ways to be unnoticed by a defense. And then last year, he didn't find ways to be unnoticed. He just was. He was not involved in the offense nearly as much as I think a lot of people thought he was going to be. And then, like, initially there were those conversations of regression, but I don't think that's what it was. I think we saw something that happens sometimes where a coaching philosophy doesn't fit with a player's execution of the philosophy, and they don't see as much playing time because that coordinator just doesn't feel like they fit the system properly. And it stinks because I like Mazeo a lot. I think he's a very capable and a very talented wide receiver. So to see him, I don't think it was maybe punished is the right word, but in a way, I'm sure he might have felt punished with the lack of reps he got.
Well, it's difficult when you play your freshman year. It's hard to go to not playing. everybody wants to play when you're recruited. They tell you you're going to come in and play. But as a freshman, you can sort of rationalize in your head that, hey, maybe I'm not playing because I'm younger or I'm learning the system or whatever the case may be. However, if you play that freshman year, the next year you're only expecting your playing time to go up and your contribution to go more and the offense to be more focused on you. And so when it goes backwards, that is a difficult mental transition for any athlete, especially at this time. Shane Beamer talked about Mazio a little bit yesterday. This is going to be clip number 10, Jen. And this is Shane Beamer talking about Mazio's role last year and moving forward.
Yeah, just that's who Mazio is. I go back to high school. I mean, he's just he's a competitive, serious dude at all times. He's very serious about his work. He's very competitive. That was evident in high school when we recruited him, and I can remember Greenville High School being out here in the summertime for 7-on-7, and you saw like when the lights came on, for example, or so to speak, there was like a switch that flipped with him, and that's who he is. And then you see him, what he did as a freshman. Today was a 3rd and long day, and we showed it in the team meeting this morning, the touchdown catch he had at Alabama, in Tuscaloosa as a true freshman. I was 4th and 9, I think, but still it was third or 4th and down and long. But being able to come in as a true freshman and do what he did, and then last season I know didn't go the way that he wanted it to as far as his role, but he didn't pout, he didn't complain, he didn't threaten to transfer. It was the competitiveness in him came right back out, and I think he's done an amazing job since January of just working, just keeping his mouth shut and just going, not that he wasn't before, but just keeping his mouth shut, being all business and just going to work. And he's made some, he's had 4 really good days. He caught a touchdown pass today on the very last play of practice. It was a really nice play, him going up and making a catch at the end of practice and from Cutter, and hope to see many more plays, like that from him this year.
Who'd he catch that from, Coach? What'd you say?
I believe you said Cutter.
Because I'm not at practice and I can't see with my own eyes, I'm left to speculate.
Indeed.
So he caught a pass from Cutter. Do you think that means that Cutter is the number 2 quarterback?
I think, yeah, it sounds pretty clear cut.
That's a solid one.
I didn't even mean to do that.
Solid. Jen, let's get clip number 15. This is Shane talking about Cutter's ability to play now.
Yeah, I love where Cutter is. Last season, I mean, he came in at the end of the Oklahoma game, and one of the very first throws, or might have been the first throw, is he rips a ball across the field into cover 2 and hits what we call the hole shot in between the corner and safety, and you're like, gee, Merry Christmas, as a true freshman, he made that play. And kind of like what I just said about Nick, Cutter's the same way. You talk about a guy that gets mental reps in practice and utilizes every opportunity to get better. That's what Cutter does. So Cutter's a really, really good football player. Not just me, but our entire team. Phil has a ton of confidence in Cutter, and what a player and person he is, and he continues to do some nice things in practice, not just today.
First and foremost, Jiminy Christmas.
I was about to say the same thing.
Top tier expression for a coach who doesn't want to curse, right?
Absolutely, because that was the first thing that came to my head was, did he actually say Jiminy Christmas?
Jiminy Christmas.
No.
Now, how do you, Jen, you might be able to help us. How do you spell Jiminy Christmas? Is it Jiminy, Jimothy, Jimothy? What is the actual phrasing of that, and why?
And I always thought it was Jiminy Crickets.
Jiminy Crickets, okay.
Well, see, so did I.
Okay.
I've heard the variation of Christmas.
Uh-huh.
I've always heard Jiminy Christmas or Crickets. Jiminy, Jiminy.
What does Jiminy mean?
Yeah, Jiminy.
Uh-huh. Jiminy Christmas. Jiminy Christmas! Crickets!
It's a good one.
It's a top tier
when you
expression.
say it like that.
Yeah. Top tier expression for coach who's trying not to cuss.
Yeah.
Dag nabbit.
Dag nabbit is another one. Gosh darn it.
Yeah. Had a coach used to say, God dang it.
Uh-huh.
And it was real loud. Like he knew it was what he wanted. Like he was right there, and it was like, oh, don't do it.
Cheese and crackers.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a good one. You ever hear
Dadgummit?
Dadgummit is always a solid one. So, yeah, so we know Shane's working on that. I wonder who said that. But it was interesting to know that Cutter is somebody who is getting those reps. And I don't know. I haven't seen. No word. There's no depth charts. But it is good news to hear that Cutter is making that progression.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like to some degree it was, I don't want to say it was expected, but I saw a lot of the guy play in high school. And, man, is he talented. Like, he is a lot of fun to watch. And so I kind of knew, I think he'd develop fairly quick and be ready if the circumstances led to him needing to be there. You know what I mean? Like, he's ready if need be.
So when we come back, we talk. Camp is time for depth chart, position battles, but it's also a time for body transformations. And we wouldn't be the meat package if we didn't continue this discussion. When we come back, we'll hear about one Eagle's favorite juice. Hint, it may not be what you think it is. This is the early game.
Wow, what a play. The Game Network. Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass.
Sponsored by the Blood Connection.
Earn $70 in TBC rewards when you donate blood with the Blood Connection. Local patients need your help. Will you be the reason someone gets another tomorrow? Only 3% donate, and that's not enough. Donate today. Visit thebloodconnection.org. Some exclusions apply.
Hey, this is Jen Jensen for CHW Cabinetry. My family is using CHW Cabinetry, and they are fantastic to work with. They make sure you're satisfied with every step of the process. Not only do their photorealistic renderings show exactly what your new space will look like, their job site guarantees everyone is on the same page, literally. Experience the CHW difference for yourself. Go to chwcabinetry.com to see more, or call them at 803-520-6837, and be sure to tell them Jen Jensen sent you. CHW Cabinetry, passion from inspiration to installation.
Hey guys, it's Jay Phillips for AAA Heating and Air. You know, every homeowner's dream is a house that cleans itself, right? Well, we might not be able to do that, but what if you could clean your air without lifting a finger, even when you're sleeping? AAA Heating and Air offers indoor air quality products that do just that. These products work with your HVAC system to improve your home's air quality. Cleaning the air eliminates common household odors, removes allergens and pollutants, and can even improve sleep and reduce the spread of some viruses. And remember, at AAA Heating and Air, home comfort is their top priority. Call today to schedule a seasonal maintenance appointment. Let AAA Heating and Air's qualified technicians put your mind at ease with a thorough inspection and cleaning of your heating and cooling system. Join their popular AAA Comfort Club to take advantage of extras like flexible visits, added discounts, and priority scheduling. Let AAA Heating and Air take your comfort to the next level. Call 803-677-1500 and schedule today.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
Remember when businesses were local and you knew and trusted the people that worked there? I'm David Hill of True Protect Pest Services. We remember and we miss it. That's why I started True Protect. At True Protect, we're more than pest control. We're your neighbors, bringing over 50 years combined experience to everyone we serve. For local, reliable pest service, call 803-400-8188. That's 400-8188. I'll actually answer the phone, and we'll get started. True Protect Pest Services, proven pest protection.
Do you love the convenience of shopping online? Hey, Gamecock, Scott here from Gamecock Traditions, inviting you to shop anytime at GamecockTraditions.com. Order online and choose free in-store pickup, or have your order shipped directly to your door. The best part, everything you see on our website is actually in stock and typically pulled and shipped within 24 to 48 hours. Unlike websites that ship direct from manufacturer, we stock our merchandise so we control the process and get your Gamecock gear to you faster. Shop online with confidence at GamecockTraditions.com.
Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa Hostetler-Brown. You've been singing the Lawyer Lisa jingle for 12 years now. Have you come to see us yet? Book a Gamecock VIP consult today using discount code 26football before the first kickoff by visiting lawyerlisa.com/thegame.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience What's the difference with Lawyer Lisa?
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
From the University of South Carolina to local high schools, nonprofits, and businesses across the Midlands, organizations trust School Cuts and Minuteman Press because they deliver results they can count on. For 30-plus years, School Cuts has specialized in quality screen printing and embroidery for uniforms, spiritwear, and custom apparel. Minuteman Press provides full-service printing, including business cards, brochures, booklets, banners, signs, yard signs, and promotional products. Now working together, both locations in West Columbia and downtown Columbia make it easy to get everything in one place.
Everybody loves streaming till you have to pay for it. Just download the 107.5 The Game app and stream us for free. It's the Game Network Traffic Report from the Schroeder's Towing Traffic Center. Broken down and need a tow or even free signage for your lot? Dial pound 250 and use keyword tow truck today.
Columbia Highway at Charter Oak Road, there is an accident there. Also, I-20 eastbound at Alpine Road, I-26 westbound near I-77. Still getting things cleaned up on I-126 eastbound where you're approaching Greystone Boulevard. North Springs Road at North Brickyard Road. And one more to let you know about, and that's Highway 21 at I-77. Definitely have ourselves a heat wave. We're looking for a high today of 95. It's going to be 98 tomorrow and Friday with heat indexes up to 108. Currently 74 on 107.5 The Game.
The Early Game. With former Gamecocks Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell, and Jen Jensen. On the Game Network, 107.5 Game app, and the Game TV radio on YouTube.
We got a lot of guys here. You come to practice and you don't make weight. And you tell me you don't eat anything. Well, I know the air ain't got calories, guys.
Classic. That is an impression of Nick Saban being Nick Saban, talking to his guys, because one of the questions that comes into camp is, did you make weight? Now, it's not much of a discussion for a lot. Well, sometimes for the skinnier guys, they have to eat themselves up to a certain weight. But mostly it's for the big guys. And it's like, hey, man, did you make weight? Are you making weight? Or you have to run? You have to be in the breakfast club, et cetera, et cetera. And Shane addressed a little bit of this in what he's talking about, some of the body transformations that have happened over the summer. This is stuff that you normally do hear. You normally hear this stuff, but it's interesting to talk about who he specifically pointed out. Jen, is going to be clip number 4. This is Shane Beamer talking about some of the transformations that have happened over the summer.
The older guys, a lot of those guys, I talked last week in the press conference about the summer that we had, and it's very evident. A lot of older guys on our team, whether it be returners or whether it be guys that have transferred in from other schools, they've changed their bodies in 1 year, and really this summer. You know, you look at guys, Hank Purvis, for example, coming in, an older guy that's played a lot of football, coming from a Big Ten program that came in here, and he's changed his body, lost a lot of weight, lost body fat, and looks great, and he's moving better now than what he was during spring practice. And there's a lot of stories like that. Tommy Weil on defense, a guy that's been around for a minute and been at multiple schools, but coming in and is now stronger than he's ever been as a college football player. And that's very evident watching the improvements that our guys made from spring practice to the preseason. So, you know, kudos to Luke Day and his team.
So the biggest one he talked about, excuse me, especially when it comes to the offensive line that we've been discussing, is Hank Purvis, who is penciled in as the starter right now. Now, they said he's changed his body. Now, Hank came in. Hank was a big boy.
Yeah.
He came in on the scale at 330. And as I've told everybody, whatever is listed as, you can go ahead and add. So if he was listed at 330, he was coming in, especially in the wintertime, not playing any ball. I'm not gonna guess no numbers because maybe that's presumptuous, but it wasn't that.
Winter weight.
he hibernates.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
You gotta, like any good bear, you gotta put on some weight so you can come out of here in the summer and take it off. But that is important, not just because obviously it's healthier, it looks better, whatever the case is, but from a tactical standpoint in this offense, why does him losing that weight help so much?
Well, because they're going to run this up tempo. They're going to try to catch defenses off guard, move fast. These guys are running, sprinting to the line right after a play is over. So to a certain degree, like, you can't just be – it's one thing if you're running a tempo and it's a 2-minute offense and you're up against the clock and you're knocking out 4 or 5 yard plays, guys are getting out of bounds, or they don't and you have to run to the line. That's one thing, but a whole game of tempo offense, you have to be in shape for that. You have to be ready to run.
And he's the center.
Yeah.
So he has to be spotted on the ball. He has to be engaged every single play. He has to have his mind, because there's no dumber person on earth than a big man who's tired.
That's true.
Because it's going to be very difficult for me to concentrate.
Absolutely.
Because I'm just trying to breathe.
I'm thinking about water.
Breath, water, right? The cramp that's in my side or whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying? Like,
man, those are the worst.
That's the thing that I'm trying to figure out. And so, yes, it is a positive sign that Hank came in, took it seriously, knew what he needed to do, and got that ready. So I do think that is because oftentimes in the summer you hear, oh, he gained 15 pounds of muscle that he lost. Everybody gains 15 pounds of muscle and loses 15 pounds of fat. Whatever. I do think this is a distinct marker for somebody who's going to play in this offensive style.
I completely agree. Yeah, I mean, you have to see significant, especially again, because we talked about this when we had our full-on Meat Package Monday episode a couple weeks ago when I was filling in. You look at that guy's headshot on the website, and at first I'm a little bit skeptical of a tempo offense with somebody who looks like that. But evidently he has made the changes. He's going to be ready, and that is a huge, huge element of how this offense is going to be successful.
I'm just looking at the picture.
You looking at the picture again?
Yeah, I see it. Well, he made the changes that he needed to make, and our guy Jalen Carter for the Eagles, defensive tackle extraordinaire, signed a huge contract, and he talked about maybe some of the changes that he needed to make his transformation. Jen, this is going to be clip number 34 from today, and this is Jalen Carter talking about him coming into camp, making weight, celebration for all big men, but he talks about how he did it.
Me and Coach Big had a little thing going where he wanted me to come in at a certain amount of weight, and I made that weight, and we had a little bet or whatever going on. It's all fun and games, all principles and stuff like that, but, it's just coming in with a mindset. That also shows that, the contract wasn't my biggest focus. My biggest focus was putting a smile on Coach Vic's face coming in at my weight, and he was happy, and we dapped up, we hugged it out, and, we doing good. We just working every day.
How much lighter are you had to do to get down to that weight in terms of conditioning and what you ate?
Yeah, mostly eating, and drinking. I like juice, so, I might drink some juice, but I had to slow down on the juice. And most of it was just all water and juice in here. But I just slow down on most of the main things and eating like once a day, maybe twice, but making it small portions, not big daddy meals,
What flavor?
What flavor? I like Minute Maids. They got Minute Maid like the raspberries and all stuff like that. But
how much lighter are you than last year?
Lighter? It's probably like 10 pounds, not too much, but it's a difference where I can feel it though. Yes, sir.
What's a big daddy meal consist of?
Boy, just fill the plate up. I'm telling you, whatever it's rice, the whole thing, right? Everything. I need everything you cook. That's it.
How do you think it's going to help you during the season, being a little lighter?
Just moving around, getting out of stack. I already play a lot of plays, but being less tired throughout the plays and learning how to, save my energy from some plays to help throughout the game.
There were two different emotions there. Like when they talk about what changes he made, he said, I drank a lot of juice. I had to lay off the juice.
Slow down on
And he sounded sad about that, but then when somebody asked him what consists of a big daddy meal, and he goes, oh, it's a full plate. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was so excited to talk about it. Like, he's missing that right now.
It's a tough spot for him to be in because, yes, he wants to make the contract. Yes, he wants to make his weight and earn his money, blah, 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 blah. But he has to give up the big daddy meals with the rice and all that. And then I don't know if you ever heard that phrase, got to slow down on the juice. And they're actually talking about Minute Maid juice.
Favorite flavor, Minute Maid.
Favorite flavor is Minute Maid, yeah. So that is what some of the bigger guys have to go through, and that's what I would love for the Big J journalist to follow up with Hank, because Hank lost a lot of weight. I would love to know, what did he have to give up to lose a lot of weight? Did he have to give up the juices? Did he have to give up the chocolate like Jen Jensen might have to? Did he have to give up the chocolate milk like Nick Harvey would have to? Is he a man after my own heart and have to give up the breads? We don't know, but he has made that success, and that is something that it is important because of the offense. You even heard when they talked to Jalen just now as a defender. Hey, man, that's going to help me play more plays. I can get out of my stance a little bit better. You know,
he said he could think about plays more, too.
He said it.
Yeah.
I could think about, because I'm telling you, man, when a big man gets tired, it's no coming back from that. I can't play. I can't think. I'm not going to be aggressive, because all I can think about is where's the next breath coming from? And it doesn't feel like it's ever going to happen. So congratulations to Jalen Carter for making his weight. It says he's 314. I doubt that. Maybe he was 314 for the moment that he got on that scale. But here's the other problem. When you achieve the weight, what's the first thing you want to do?
Eat.
Celebrate.
I want to celebrate.
Let me go get a big
Cupcakes
cup
for
of
everybody.
juice.
Big Minute Maids for everybody. A round of Minute Maid for the crew. Minute Maid's a winner. When we come back, we'll talk about winners presented by the Golden Spur. This is the early game.
Wow, what a play. The Game Network. Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
Hey, this is Preston here from 107.5 The Game and The Game Network. If you run a diner, bakery, coffee shop, burger joint, pizza spot, or that hidden gem that everybody should know about, how would you like to get the word out about your business without spending a dime? Well, we got you. All you have to do is text your name, your business, your phone number to 803-404-6100, and we'll be in touch. There is no catch. Times are tough, but we're here to help you and your business.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
Steph Curry isn't going anywhere. The Golden State Warriors and their legendary superstar have reportedly agreed to terms solidifying that Curry will finish his career in the Bay Area. Despite swirling rumors and outside interest over the last year, the face of the franchise is officially locked in to remain a Warrior for life, cementing his legacy with the only NBA franchise he has ever called home. I'm Drake Toll.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Drew McIntyre here from WWE. Wielding the Claymore can be a life of chaos. When I'm not dominating in the ring, Chumba Casino is how this warrior takes a wee break. With hundreds of online social games and new weekly releases, there's always something fresh to try. And those daily boosts, next level. Even my free time feels like Valhalla. So when life feels like a battle, kick up your feet, have some fun, and let's Chumba.
Sponsored by VGW Group. No purchase necessary. See terms at ChumbaCasino.com. Must be over 21 and present in the state where it's legal to play.
From Camden to Lexington or Orangeburg to Newberry, homeowners across the Midlands trust Canty Foundation Specialists. If your home has wall cracks, broken concrete, uneven floors, or crawl space problems, we got you covered. Just ask this local homeowner.
You can't beat something like that.
Call today for a free inspection. 803-424-8380 or visit us at cantycanfixit.com. Don't wait until it's too late.
Canty can fix it.
It's your captain speaking. To the passenger with the Mirror Fast soft chews, smart move.
No way am I letting travel constipation ruin this trip.
Can't blame you. Mirror Fast works fast, but without the harsh side effects.
Since I'm such a smart traveler, can I move to first class?
No. Close the curtain, girl.
From the makers of Miralax, new Mirafast soft chews work naturally with your body in as little as 30 minutes to give you a comfortable go on the go. Find Mirafast today at your local retailer. Use as directed for occasional constipation. Contains magnesium hydroxide.
Surprise.
Wait, do I know you?
You use your Discover cashback card to earn 5% cashback on restaurants all quarter.
Yeah.
Now, it's payback time.
Whoa, hold on.
Go ahead.
Oh, you mean my Discover cashback.
I told you there'd be payback.
You know, you have a weird way of delivering good news.
I'm working on that.
Activate and earn 5% cash back at different categories each quarter on up to $1,500 in purchases.
Terms apply. See discover.com/5 for details.
Visit the go-to spot for dining in downtown Columbia. Step into the Golden Spur, the official restaurant of the University of South Carolina. From bold, crave-worthy lunches to elevated dinners, plus handcrafted cocktails that hit every time. The Golden Spur brings the flavor every visit. Planning something special? From celebrations to business gatherings, their private dining and event spaces set the perfect scene. The Golden Spur, where campus meets community. Located at 700 Lincoln Street, right across from Colonial Life Arena. Come see what everyone's talking about.
The Early Game with former Gamecock Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell, and Jen Jensen on the Game Network, 107.5 Game app, and the Game TV radio on YouTube.
It's more about them than it is about the team. Cannot play with them. Cannot win with them. Cannot coach with them. Can't do it. I want winners. Winners.
Welcome back into the Early Game. Preston Thorne, WIS's Nick Harvey, Thomas in the control room, Jen Jensen. It's winners presented by the Golden Spur. And I bet at the Golden Spur, they probably got a lot of juice.
I want it to be known on the record right now. Minute Maid has a juice vault on their website.
Okay, what is the juice vault?
I'm clicking on it right now.
Out. Juices, winner. Here's the thing, man. Slowing down on the juice. I could be talking to Jalen Carter, or I could be talking to my 6-year-old daughter, right? Both groups that need to slow down on the juice. I tried. The other day she asked for some juice. Tried to cut it with some water. She was not feeling it at all.
I did that with the kids, like when they were little. You know, because I thought, well, if I start them that way, you know. But
see, that's the thing. She was getting that full uncut at grandma's house. And then when she came back and got some of that water juice, not feeling it.
I had a friend's mom as a kid who made a pitcher of Kool-Aid for us. We'd been outside all day. You know how little kids be drinking and they take a bunch of sips and then they act like they can't breathe? That was me, except for like halfway through I realized that it wasn't like, it was more watered down than it was. And I was not happy about it.
Yeah, it was just the Kool-Aid packet without the sugar.
Yeah.
The Kool-Aid is just for the color.
What are we doing?
Yeah, we got to throw it in.
I ain't,
I'm not here for that. So, winner, Minute Maid juices.
Yes.
According to Jalen Carter. And I would say my favorite one is the fruit punch variety. I think that's my favorite. They also have like maybe like a tropical punch variety, which was like a greenish.
That's a good one.
That one was fire.
That is a good one.
That's a good one.
Juices for the win.
Yeah.
Today. I'm going to piggyback off of that because about 5 to 10 minutes after we had that segment earlier, I was scrolling social media during one of the breaks, and I'm going to give a win to social media algorithms because the first reel that popped up on my phone was of somebody setting down a freshly cooked brisket, cutting into it. I showed it to Preston, and I was like, man, look at this. We're talking about cutting weight and problems that we have with it. This is why right here, because I see videos like this. The very next reel was an offensive line blocking breakdown for a youth football team. And I'm like, this is it. This is it for me. This is all I get.
No,
all day.
Your phone is not listening to you. It's just paying attention to what you like.
100%.
It's just paying attention.
And you should see the amount of likes for like people that are cutting into a steak or a brisket.
And here's what the algorithms have found out. You don't even have to like it. If you just spend some time on it, like if it just makes you, like if you go past it and
if you watch it more than once.
Yeah, if you go back like, man, that was brisket. And you're like, oh yeah, send this guy more briskets. He likes that.
I hate that when if you watch something just because you're drawn into it and you didn't really want to watch it, and then you start getting more garbage like that. It's like, okay, come on. It was a momentary weakness. Stop.
No, the algorithm pays attention to it all.
I can't call brisket a garbage reel though. I'm not gonna on the record say that. I will watch those videos, like people cooking stuff. That's my bread and butter.
I like to give a winner to word salads because Shane served up one that was fantastic. When I believe he said that they may or may not have hypothetically, potentially had a conversation with someone or someone's down the road.
Yes. That makes a lot of sense.
I loved it.
To me.
It just goes to show that, he's human. And I like that.
Yeah.
Correct.
I'll give another win to athletic fat guys.
Yes.
We heard, was Nolan Hay said it earlier this morning. We listened to him say that he likes to be referred to as a athletic fat guy. And I think about all the times where coaches say, hey, we don't do conditioning if he catches this punt. And that's when you find out how athletic a fat guy is.
Classic.
Yeah.
Classic. Another rabbit hole that I could get lost in is watching fat dudes catch punts, because the concentration, everybody's paying attention. Everybody wants these big guys to catch the ball, and it doesn't happen a lot of times.
No, it doesn't.
And the celebration that ensues once they actually catch the ball is euphoric.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'll give a win to making bets with coaches. Like Jalen Carter was talking about how he made a bet with the coach to lose 10 pounds. I made a bet with a coach one time that I could throw a football 40 yards in high school, 38.
Oh, no.
And I still had to run.
Yeah, you do.
It was unfortunate.
You did not make it.
Yeah.
No, there's no room for, halfway.
2 yards short. I was so upset.
Yeah. If you didn't make, I mean, what did he have something on the line, or was it just that you had to run?
It was to get me out of running.
Oh, okay.
I didn't have to run if I threw the ball 40 yards.
Classic.
Yeah.
That's another one of those classics that you had to make. Another winner is Sports Hate. Kyle Winningham. Hey, listen, man, I understand you're trying to be rational. I understand you're trying to have a level head about this and you're approaching it. That's not what we want out of you. And I'm going to tell you, that's not what the Michigan folks want to hear from you. You're going to have to ramp it up. Whatever you need to do, you need to make sure that you're ready for this, because you might not have seen a rivalry like this.
We need more aggression. You got to tell everybody how much you dislike those guys in the red.
Yeah, even if you say, I'll never wear red again. I know I used to wear red before, but that took all that red out of my closet, and I'm blue and gold now. Maize and blue now, my fault. Maize and blue forever. You got to figure that out.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the early game. Tyler Head and them boys up next. Appreciate you listening.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio.